All right, if you are here, we are live. It is Friday, and I am having technical difficulties, so we're off to a great start. Windows Explorer is decided to kind of crash on me, so I'm going to have to manually switch from this window to that window, back to this window. Good times happened right before the show, hence why it went a little bit longer on the pre-roll. Just happened when I pressed live, so couldn't unfuck it, but the camera's rolling and the articles are working, so we'll get through it. And appropriate to this video, the world is burning. Just enjoy it. Don't fight it. Don't fight it anymore. Just accept it. All right. Welcome to the show. Thank you all for joining, and hopefully it'll be a good one. We have a full house as usual, so we'll go ahead and bring them in a minute. But I do want to start off with... just first off, apologies for not announcing we didn't do a Christmas show. That was kind of a last-minute decision on my part to just take a break. I know that Pop and Blake are also kind of doing the same thing, so they're also on a short hiatus. They should be back next Tuesday, and we'll be here next Friday, as usual, regular schedule. Yeah, so for the most part, things are going to be back to normal. I know things have been hectic. I took on new work, and that has kind of rocked the boat in my life a little bit, but it has been sorted out. Everything's good now. So we're here, and it should work out. Won't be able to be on Pop as much, but that's okay. I can still run interference if they need me to, and keep that show running if worst comes to worst, because I have access to it, even mobile, so I can jump in and help out if I have to. So there is that. As far as what else did I want to cover? Oh, yeah. It's about to be New Year's 2024 now. What I would recommend to you, I mentioned this in our last stream, is not to set any crazy, stupid expectations of yourself. Don't get a gym membership. Don't decide to lose 30 pounds now. You will fail, not because you're not capable, but because this isn't the time. So if you're going to set goals, set them realistically. Pick a day, any day, and just start that day. You want to quit smoking? I don't know, February 1st? I don't know, April 15th. Just pick a day and do what you want to do, but don't, of course, battery low. Oh, this is going to be an interesting stream. We're going to fix that. I got a way to fix that. But yeah, just be reasonable with your resolutions. Stick to simple things that are easy. Don't try to commit to something that you're going to fail in halfway through the month, because that's never good. 2024 is going to probably be a very difficult year. I will say this much. There seems to be signs that there is already some stuff in California that came over from China. So just to repeat, it's another election, so they're going to do the same thing, same plot. It's like Groundhog's Day. You're going to see the same bullshit. They're already locking down in multiple states. Hospitals are requiring mandates again. So just remember that. And remember these words. Do not comply. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your grandma. For me, I said hi. Do not comply, okay? The mandates are bullshit. We knew it months ago, years ago. Some of us knew it from the beginning, right? They're bullshit. Don't give into it. Another thing you're going to notice, I've been using AI. Actually, most of the thumbnails now are AI generated. You cannot use them for anything political right now. In other words, AI is heavily censored, and everything you see, including the news and everything else, most of you know this, is being spun in a particular narrative. They're locking down hardcore any dissenting opinion right now, including creating art, which, like I said, the thumbnail tonight, that was AI. You can do that. You can do a red rhino on a skateboard with dead green guys. But you can't do a picture of Trump smiling right now. Not okay. Or a ballot box. Can't do that. Or, anything. Biden included. You can't do anything on these AI sites right now because it's a violation of their ethics and values. It's going to get weird, guys. But here's the thing. As weird as it's going to get, as fucky as it's going to get, if the left wins, we're fucked. If the right wins, we're fucked. So, that being said, you can live life watching these shows and getting angry about the doom and gloom, which God knows I do that for you. So you don't have to. Or alternatively, you can pick up hobbies and maybe check off some things on your bucket list that you wanted to do that are more fun than, doom and gloom. Still, you watch these shows, but when you walk away from them, go do something. Like I've been taking up crazy shit. I'm fucking skateboarding now. 36 years old, I decided, I better pick up a skateboard and learn to ride. It's a lot more enjoyable than watching the news and worrying about the nukes going off. You know what I mean? So come over here, have a good time on Friday nights. We'll try to keep it entertaining and fun. But at the end of the day, the world's going to shit. Governments are collapsing. Wars are starting every day in different locations. Just enjoy the fucking ride. We only get one life, and it's best not to spend it just doom and glooming your way through it. Another thing I wanted to point out, I've seen a lot of it, and I want to address it, and then we got to actually wire the headphones tonight, so I'm going to prepare for that. But I've seen a lot of guys in this community, not all of you. Some of you are MGTOW, some of you have checked out, some of you, quite frankly, just don't give a shit. But some of you still prioritize on dating, relationships, and women, right? This would be a resolution if I could give you one to maybe try out. If your focus is to complete your life by finding a partner, you are failing already. And I'm going to say that bluntly. You should be the kind of person a partner would be attracted to begin with, if that is what you want. If you're looking for a relationship, would you want to date you? Are you excellent enough being yourself, achieving your goals, your career, your hobbies? Are you excellent enough where if you met you, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. You should definitely strive for that. Stop focusing on attaining the woman and focus on attaining who you want to become. And if you really want a woman after that, it happens. I promise. I've been saying this for 2 years now, almost, I feel like. But it's true. If you guys are out there focusing on the women and, that's what completes your life, you got it backwards. I hate to tell you. And I really want to change your mind on that. And I know, especially during the holiday season, I know a lot of you guys probably get a little down, and I know some of you do. I've talked to you, I can't find a girl and I just want to marry and have kids. And first of all, I don't recommend it. 2024, did I mention it's going to be a really fucky year? Not the year to be buying wedding rings and popping out babies, in my opinion. But I digress. I really encourage you guys to focus on yourselves. All right. You already know my story, the health scare, and that was kind of a wake up call for me and getting my life together. And yes, having my second childhood, if you will. I never grew up. Let's be honest. I'm trying to bring back that inner 17-year-old, fuck around and find out, have a good time, take risks, have adventures, do fun things, because I don't know how long I have. Neither do you. Could be tomorrow. Could be 60 years from now. I don't know, but I'm not chancing it. So, yes, I'm going to say this repeatedly. The world is going to shit, but enjoy it, will you? Please, and stop focusing on what you don't have. Look, I get it. I'm a dude. I was in my 20s, right? I know. It's all you want. You want a little bit of that tail. You see everybody else at the park or the grocery store or the mall. They're all holding hands and all cute. And it's so nice. but later, to quote Jurassic Park again, there's running and screaming. That's the part you don't see. Please, for the love of God, stop letting the fucking the box confuse you into thinking that's what you want. Okay? Please. I'm setting that goal for you. If that is your main priority, or what consumes your thoughts more than 3 times a day, it's time to change. It's time to focus on you. Because who cares? Who cares? You don't need that to be complete. That's a lie sold to you to increase the tax bracket. But anyway, we got to plug this in. I got to bring the panel in. Otherwise, it's going to be a really bad show because I won't be able to hear anything. And then who knows what happens live. Let's get the panel in, though. We're going to just skip formal introductions. I'm going to go into just letting them shoot the shit. So whoever wants to jump in, by the way, I am speaking to you, panel. Whoever wants to talk about anything I just mentioned, feel free to jump in. Don't be afraid to be the first motherfucker to talk. I want you guys to engage. So just right off the bat, let's get this going. So I'm going to bring in the full panel tonight. I did see we had a late, perhaps, gentleman that wanted to join. Unfortunately, we are full as usual. We need to upgrade this again, I think. But 10 people on the panel at once is pushing it. I am going to focus on some more small videos. I should say smaller panel videos going into next year. More serious topics, some psychology stuff, sociology stuff, topics that I think you guys are really going to like. We did a little bit on the health, not crazy. If you want me to do more on that, if you want me to actually talk to you about diet, good habits, things like that, routines, again, striving for excellence, getting better every day, even if it's a baby step. If you want more like that, I'll do it. I'm not perfect, man. I'm the black sheep. I'm telling you, but I'll give you my best shot at it because I do want to help you guys. My goal here, honestly, I've kind of found where I want this channel to go. Pop gave you a reason to keep living. So did a lot of the other guys. I know some of you guys get irritated because it seems like we talk about Pop only, and a lot of channels out here are saving men. My goal here, bottom line, is now that you're still here, let's have fun. All right, let's have a better life. Let's enjoy this shit, right? The world's burning. Let's enjoy it. That's my mission, okay? Let's get this panel in.
What's up, everybody? Well, Rhino, I just want to throw one thing out there that looking at your background, we all know you'll never grow up. You'll always be a Toys R Us kid.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Scotty, what's up, brother?
Hey, guys. What's going on? Thanks, Red Bull Rhino, for having me. Oh, you can't hear me right now.
I can hear you, kind of.
We can hear you.
Heck yeah, man.
Yell louder, then he'll hear you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's charging, though. That's the issue. Does it charge while it's on?
One thing to what you said, Rhino, I don't think, in all honesty, I don't really think growing up's an actual thing. I think that people just get older, they take on more responsibilities, but I don't think that the child in people ever die. I think we all just become adults in the sense of responsibility and accountability, but the inner child in each and every person never dies out, in my opinion.
Well, Outlaw, kind of think of it as like painting a room. Everybody starts as a child. You've got the crazy, wacky, extremely colorful room. But every time you get older mentally, when you go through those phases where your brain is developing further, think of it as like you're painting over that old facade, that old paint scheme on your room. But at the end of the day, you carve deep enough into that wall, you're still going to find that layer of paint for when you were a kid that's just goofy as hell. So yeah, you're just covering it up with maturity, but at the end of the day, you're still a fucking little kid that's just, well, as for Rhino's case, going down the street and breaking his own ankles, which I'm waiting to see. That'll be great.
I'm going to start filming it.
Right. Hey, that's true. I mean, life has a way of callousing every one of us.
We got this. It's gonna work. I hope.
Nice.
We're gonna see a news article popping up in the Colorado News article. 36-year-old man falls over, breaks his hip.
All right. Did I show you? Did I show you the setup already? Have you guys seen it? Did I bring it on stream or no?
Didn't you get like a custom printed?
No, I
underside
built.
of that?
Oh yeah. Check this out. I'll be right back.
You got your own logo on your skateboard.
Yes, I did. I'll be right back.
I was wondering if you were going to remember that I was here.
Of course not.
Yeah, don't be like a woman.
Guy.
Don't be like a woman and pretend like Mando doesn't exist. Come on.
Hey, I'll tell you what. We do have.
Wow.
Jackal.
Straight for the throat.
Do not make me come and hunt you down.
All right, listen.
Straight for the vitals.
I'm going to go do this for a second. If you guys are trying to join the stream right now, if somebody jumps off at some point, which, by the way, that doesn't mean anybody on the panel needs to rush off. But if somebody does have to go, keep in mind that's your cue to jump in. We've got like 0 spots right now, so stand by. There will be an opportunity. Just be patient, okay? Somebody might have to go, I don't know, take a shit. There'll be a chance to join. Anyway, I'll be right back. Back to you, panel.
Well, like, go ahead, Outlaw.
I was just gonna say, like, life does have a way of callousing you over, but yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, building on that, I've said this many times to many other people in the past. Inside of all of us, there's still that 4-year-old kid wearing the Batman or the Superman T-shirt, giving the world the finger.
I still do.
I still. Well, it's a Ninja Turtle T-shirt, but you mean close enough.
Shut up.
Nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, I mean, we all have to remember that is still within us.
Right.
And we have to remember where we came from to where we are and what we've been through. We've been through some amazing stuff. Imagine when they write the history books 100 years from now, all the fun things that have happened at the end of the 1900, you get, 1990 to 2000, the whole Y2K scare, the market, like all this crazy stuff that's happened within our lifetime.
Existential crisis.
We actually
One after another.
we actually get to live those things.
Yeah.
We get to be able, when we turn into grumpy old men, we get to tell those stories.
I'm
Wait,
already
where's
grumpy
Tommy?
old man.
Hey, you're
yourself.
saying when we turn into grumpy
I'm
old men?
already a grumpy old man.
I was going to say, Tommy,
yeah,
are you on camera tonight?
No,
I was about
I'm
to
not.
say there's at least 3 of us on this chat that could be classified as grumpy old men.
Here.
Yes.
And then
By the
there's
way,
Agent
this is your
Doubt
first
who
time
may
on
or
the
may
show.
not be a man.
This is your first time here, so I do want formal introductions. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, I am Scott from Scotty's Side. I also do the Seriously podcast with Ike, which we
Hell
just
yeah.
finished up. So he gave me the link to this panel, so I was like, yeah, fuck it.
Well,
chime in.
I want to be the first to
Badass.
apologize for you being here.
Yes.
And
Sorry
Agent
about
of
that.
Doubt, that was just a joke on my part. That was not an attack.
Fucking communist.
Yeah.
Anyway,
real quick,
sorry.
Moreno, I want to compliment you on your Turtles stuff there that you got going on. Can you switch back to you, man?
Yeah.
I want to see. Yeah, fucking. That's so awesome. I love.
So this actually isn't turtles. This is just like skeletons and shit, but it matches the rest. I was like,
Yep,
that's
yep.
badass.
Yep, because
Yeah.
I see your what is that? Your drink there. You got Michelangelo. Yeah.
Everything's running as low as a stir.
Yeah, I grew up with the Ninja Turtles, so
Oh yeah,
I had to compliment you on that. So
right on.
yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
You bet. All right.
And-
Where were
I was
we?
gonna say, yeah, we're getting we're getting bombarded a lot, guys. Just be patient with us. I mean, Rhino's got rocking the turtle stuff. Even his computer's pulling the turtles, so
That's
everyone's
right.
all on the same page.
Hey, if you guys are trying to join, just do me a favor. Wait until somebody drops off. Okay. We have a full house, and it's going to be very difficult to stream with that pop-up bubble. I can't. I could hide it, but I don't want to. When somebody drops off, then feel free to jump in. Oh, yeah, but I did want to show you this. Jackal brought that up. So speaking of enjoy the ride, there's a theme to this. This actually matches the AI thing that I made tonight because it's all, like I said, it's all like skulls. I don't know if you can see that. It's all skulls and shit. It's pretty
Nice.
cool. Skeletons. So it all matches the theme of the show. But I did this thing. I'm like, I got a board. I learned to ride it. My buddy was always a skateboard guy, and I was the mountain bike guy. And I couldn't ride. I couldn't even stand on a board when I was a kid in high school. I was like, it's not going to happen. But after the little health scared thing, I'm like, you know, that it's like that fucking country song, Live Like You Were Dying. I was like, it's not that bad, but who knows, man? This was kind of sketchy, so I'm going to cross some things off. This is one of them. So it started off, I customized everything on this. I built the whole thing. I feel like that was kind of the rite of passage. You got to put your own bearings, your own bushings. every bolt, every nut that's on this, I put on there myself, including these, which I don't know how to use yet, but I wanted to put them on so when I learn, I'll know how. But then I was like, you know what would make this officially official?
Element rules.
Nope.
Oh,
Element.
Yeah.
Birdhouse. Element. Birdhouse.
Element. Get the fuck out. He's going to get
Well,
backstage.
you
right
know
now.
what? You know what the really funny thing is?
Yeah,
He just admitted to nutting and bushing his own board.
I did. I nutted that thing so good. All right.
I'm
J-Mo.
sorry, you walked into that one, sir.
Why is your head cut off? What is going on? There you are. Oh, you're using the weird phone camera angle there. I see. How you doing?
At least he's not Sharon Stoning us.
Is he doing the mime thing tonight?
He kind of looks excited.
All right, I can't do this anymore. I got to kick him off.
Hey, fuck you.
Hey, so here's a funny thing. So
Someone
I
said
know I'm-
Element was good. Everybody knows it's Toy Machine, you fucking noob.
Right. Anyway, so me and JMO actually caught up the other week, and we were hanging out, and all of a sudden, this girl like drove by, and she was like, "Hey, you want a board?" This guy like watching me try to skate, which was pretty hilarious for him, I'm sure. But we ended up getting a free board out of it too, so that's cool. So, but there you go. That's the story. That is the story. All right.
Every time I'm with Rhino, he gets fucking lucky, and I don't.
Maybe
I'm surprised you didn't show him what I brought you.
Maybe I
Oh,
need to
yeah,
move to
no.
Colorado then.
We're not. This isn't a show and tell show, sir. But I definitely tell you what. Next time, because it's out in the other room. You know what I'm
3
talking
years
about.
from now.
We'll shut your
Alien
mouth.
Workshop works.
Shut
Yeah,
your-
I like them too.
So, Scott,
All right.
why did you want to be on the show tonight?
why? I didn't know what the topic was, honestly, but I gave me the link.
Homosexuality tendencies.
Whoa, where did that come from?
That is not.
And I
That
gotta
is not
say,
the show.
dude, you're really rocking those aviators.
Thank you.
I love the
Yeah.
aviators.
I wasn't talking smack on them. I can't pull off aviators.
You got.
I think when you're fat, aviators just don't work.
he doesn't know
Because
how
it's
to
like, hey, you're
transition.
still
You see?
fat, you're just Tom Cruise.
The problem is he has no understanding of transition. He's saying something about like gay something one minute, and then he's complimenting you the next, but you can't tell with him because he's semi-retarded.
All right, listen,
Am I-
just because I got a bronze medal in the Special Olympics doesn't mean I'm retarded. If I had dropped 10 more pounds, that swim comp would have been mine. So I better get some damn respect.
On
Pole vault
that
didn't go
note,
my way.
Let's get into this. Anybody else want to jump in regarding the topic?
Wait, the
tonight?
retard or the homo? Oh.
No, I'm gonna backstage you. Swear to God. Anyway, no. As far as enjoying the ride because the world is going to hell. Anybody else want to jump in with their words of Ron Jeremy wisdom? Anybody? Hint. Anybody?
Well, if we're taking a ride, let's get some sticks, whittle them down, and some marshmallows so we can make some s'mores along the way.
I don't
Oh,
think
we
it's
can-
that
we can
bad,
just use
but
that
that's
with-
me.
Hey, we can just wait until the terminations begin, and we can just use the bones of our fallen adversaries.
My question is, if we're just here to enjoy the ride, why are we talking about it?
Well, that's the fucking
Great point.
man.
No, I mean, I'm just saying.
We can,
I
we
don't
can talk
think
about
it's
all the
that
fun
bad.
stuff. Yeah, it's not that bad. It could be far worse.
You want to talk about
Yeah.
the bad stuff now? You want to get into it? You want to?
Okay,
You want to talk
okay,
about
yeah,
the
no
bad stuff?
problem. No problem.
All right. Well,
No,
what's
no,
your
no.
what's your
Please go
perception of bad? What's your
All of
perception
it.
of bad?
Every last bit of it.
Really, really.
Wow.
Every last bit of what?
Well, that's good to
everything.
know. We rekindled our friendship. Glad to know that's in the fucking bad category.
This is number one on the list. This right here, number one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whatever. Me and my bronze medal are just gonna go hang out with some other people.
Right. Well, you were talking about you guys were out skating and met a chick. So
It
Was she,
it was just for the skateboard.
She was hot. Don't worry.
He he was interested. He was interested.
Okay. So
she was outside of your age demographic.
I don't even know.
No, she's probably about 26, 27. I know she broke up with a douchebag boyfriend, hence the
We
skateboard.
don't know that. We don't know that for sure.
You're right, because she gets up and goes, holy fuck, I need my longboard. Fuck my brand new Subaru.
Anyway.
Maybe she likes
Sounds
the
about right.
All right. Any
Well, it
other
is
final
Colorado.
words before we transition
Wow.
into articles,
Phrasing.
topics?
Phrasing, dude. Phrasing.
Can we finally talk about buttered sausage? And what it is and what it does?
No. We're gonna leave that topic alone forever. That's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna talk about it. You know what? How about this? Let's get some words of wisdom from our local communist friend. Commies, no thanks.
Regarding the intro by Rhino, the monologue, I'm just going to say you can't ever time the market. This could actually be the best year ever, but as prepared citizens, there are things that we always need to be doing. We need to check up on those things, like, cycle your canned foods out, and make sure that everything's fresh. You got some extra water, all that stuff that you should always do, but don't put off anything that you are waiting for, like the best year ever to do, because then you'll never get around to it, because there's always gloom and doom and signs of it all the time.
Touche. Very true.
I actually had a question for an agent.
What's that?
How is 100% going for you, sir?
It's going pretty good. I've found a couple of different benefits to it. Some of which I know Rhino is probably not on board with, because already some of the benefits of being a veteran are pretty nice. But because I got my appeal decision and everything, along with that, they canceled my student loans.
Yeah, that's the great thing about. So when you hit 100%, a lot of times they forgive anything above and or before your GI Bill. So
wow.
So and you guys know that I already have a master's degree, and my balance was sitting at 76,000.
And it's just poof gone. That's pretty good.
That must be.
I'm glad my taxes went up for you, sir. Smart ass.
Well,
but no, agent. Last time when I went and visited Rhino here, we actually talked, because you and I actually used to talk at poker nights back in the day. So it was just I remember your back hurting you then, and of such a shit year, I'm glad that somebody pulled out a win.
Hell yeah.
No.
Now, on the subject of JMO, I had this flashback when he was talking of this, like, I was in like 7th grade and it was science class, and there was this really hot chick sitting in front of me, and I had to use my textbook to push down my raging boner, right? And I'm just saying, does anybody have a textbook? Like,
I've got
JMO, do you have
book.
any books? Do you have any books?
Of course he does. Well, comic books.
Agent, you turn me on. Why do you think the camera's at an angle so nobody sees my raging wood?
What?
Wait a second.
Wait, what?
What the fuck?
What's going on here?
I'm trying to say agent's hot.
All right.
God,
I gotta take back this shit. I gotta take back this shit.
Okay.
What stream did I join?
Getting weird. Who's gonna
All
get
right, first off, Rhino,
wrong
hold on, Rhino. Since I brought it up, we need to have another poker night.
Negatory, sir. I remember what happens to those. We're not going to talk about that anymore.
Fine.
Let's move on.
No.
This asshole doesn't listen to directions. Agent of Doubt for $5. Fucking hate you guys, I really do. Would it piss off Rhino if I super chatted before he even started the broadcast? If so, Crusader Nate told me to do it.
That's deflecting
Anyway.
the blame.
Right?
Yeah,
Well,
deflation.
on Agent's previous comment, I still do have the unabridged desktop reference for neuropharmacological substances. I have the unabridged version.
Textbook.
It's kind of a textbook. I don't know if that would work. It's a little on the larger side, though.
No, the
J-Mo's
boner
not
count.
going
Never
to
mind.
read it. Whatever the book is, it'll do.
All right,
It's like 1,200. It's only like 1,200 pages.
we are moving on.
Gonna read it.
Use a calculator.
That's a
book.
big number.
Gendai, you sent us something, I believe. This is how we're gonna regain control. Either that, or we're just gonna hit one of these really quick. Continue on because I cannot handle this bullshit.
Hey.
Hey, that looks like my ex's college days.
Gendai, I believe you shared something with us. It's 20 seconds. What? Give us a brief. What is this about before we play it? Just briefly.
Is he still here?
Is he still here? Maybe.
No, I think he got dropped.
No, he got
Yeah, I
off
think he
because
got
his daughter needed attention. So
That must have
You
been.
might want to look on
what
Rumble.
happened.
I think he's over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's,
Well, we'll
he's
play
watching.
this. He sent it. This is the newest creation from him. I didn't even get a chance to watch it, so if it gets us banned, it's my fault
So be
for
it.
playing it without previewing it. Here we go.
Remember, the sandpaper dildo of consequences never arrives lubed.
I love it. That's awesome.
God, if
It's
that
not
gets
wrong.
you banned,
I like-
nobody's safe.
Oh, that was.
I like that Asian
I love
dub. By the way he did that.
So good.
That was pretty good. All right. I also got to do this just because I love this fucking stupid clip. I'm doing it. I need the extended cut of this that lasts like 3 minutes as a piss break, just on repeat playing that song.
It wasn't.
Right
the
now,
same
I'm
one
surprised
thinking
that song doesn't actually get you zapped for copyright.
It has not, believe it or not. So we are safe so far.
It wasn't.
But now
the
that
one
you
I was
said
thinking.
something, you fucking party pooper.
No.
All
Do it. Don't you
right,
fucking
let's
do it.
see. Like I said, there is a bit of a glitch. So bear with me. There's going to be more of a delay in switching screens than usual because my computer took a shit during the stream, so I'm having to manually switch between things. Let's check in with Jeremy from Coffee Brand Coffee. I mean the Quartering. I'm not sponsored to say that shit, but I have to because that's all he fucking talks about. Try Coffee Brand Coffee. I have not tried it. Okay, maybe I should. Maybe he'll let me, try his coffee for free for showing his shit on my show. Probably not, but we'll see. Jeremy, if you see this, hi. I will try your coffee brand, maybe the cocoa or something, or maybe some black coffee, some good black coffee. I don't know. But anyway, let's get this on the screen here. See if I can. Will it let me? We'll see. Share screen. Yes, this is the most depraved thing going on the internet right now. Brought to you by Twitch, which they recanted their statement, or did they? I don't know anymore. But let me switch screens. This is all screwed up. Again, sorry for the delay. I have to manually go into File Explorer down at the bottom of the screen and switch tabs from the one you're seeing here with the stream and then the articles. It's a whole mess right now. I think it's a glitch since Windows did an update and I use a File Explorer patch, which reverts it back to Windows 10 settings because Windows 11 is kind of retarded. So I think there's a glitch in the update right now.
Yeah.
So On that note, let me switch over to the Jeremy tab, and we will press play and see if it works. If you guys cannot hear audio, please in the chat let me know. One, if you can. One is good, two is bad today. So two if no audio.
We all know that there's no shortage of like weirdos, predatory individuals on the internet. Okay. And normally when I cover something like this, it would be kind of just for the memes and kind of mocking it, because we know that Twitch, for example, is a cesspool of epic proportions. And this story is about a new meta. What is a meta?
Thanks, guys.
Well, essentially it just is a trend. A meta in Twitch has been, last year it was like the hot tub streams. And
yeah, so if you haven't paid attention, if you want to be popular on YouTube, Twitch, anywhere, just all you got to do is just wear bikinis and be a woman with, fun bags, right? That's all you got to do. And last year it was the hot tub streamers and everything else. Now here's the part that irritates a lot of these people is that Twitch was designed with the idea that it was for gamers, nerds, Call of Duty dudes, Fortnite guys, like whatever it is. Yeah. I mean, who's going to jump in there?
I mean, I don't blame the women on that one. I blame the simp ass men who keep feeding them money to see it.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I went to TwitchCon, as much as you think some of those women would be absolute Kawantahas? Is that the word?
Yeah, you got it.
Close
You
enough.
got
Is that the safe word?
Sure. You have got the safe word down.
Nice. It's short for okay, but
it's actually long for, but yes.
Well, I can't read, so fuck you.
Hey,
but no,
hey, wait. I'm gonna interrupt you because I can. This is for you, sir. This is for you.
Oh, fuck yeah!
It's only a matter of time before he finds the poop I left in his shoebox in his closet.
Joke's on you, bitch. I don't have a shoebox. Anyway.
I checked your Mandalorian helmet.
Wow.
So,
all right, continue on with your point.
Okay. But no, when I went to TwitchCon, a lot of those women were actually really down to earth and really, really cool. And I'm sure you guys know who Amaranth is, the Twitch streamer.
Unfortunately, I hate the bitch.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually one of the nice people I've ever met.
No.
But even she, hold on.
No.
Hear me out.
No.
So, even she said, I don't know why people pay me so much money. And it's the same point I've made. Pornhub is free. But yet they force feed them hundreds, if not even thousands of dollars at a time just for them to sit in a hot tub or a fucking indoor pool. At a certain point, it can't be just their fault anymore. Yeah, granted, they're doing it for the views and the money. But it's got to go on the simp-ass dudes at a certain point for hand-feeding them this money.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I've got an echo, so if somebody is not using a headset, please unfuck your shit. I got to use a battery bank to do this. It's high class around here. Really, we have a Hotmail email address. By the way, Successful Endeavors, you sent me a link in the chat, wherever it is. I cannot click the link from here, so if you could email me the link at redpillrhino@hotmail.com, I'd appreciate it. Then I can check it out. Maybe play it if it's good. But we're going to get back into this.
Never mind.
I'll skip through. Okay, go ahead. God damn it. Get on with your point. You're going to cry if I don't let you finish.
That's not true.
Get on with it.
No, so basically what she said was the reason why they pay her instead of watching Pornhub, and this is the same for every little fucking e-girl, it's because they're not on Pornhub.
Wait.
Yeah,
Are you
and
saying people pay them because they're not on Pornhub?
Yes.
And I think also it's because the guys that put in any kind of in the chat or whatever, it's more of a personalized thing.
Yeah, it's girlfriend experience. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They think that they're getting some kind of attention, and these guys are just starved for it. And
Right.
so any kind of little attention they get in the chat or by sending these super chats or whatever it is on Twitch, I don't know, whatever it is, they get that little bit of attention, and it's just like, oh God, I want more. I want more. I want more. And unfortunately, that's what they go for. So
send me $1,000. I'll write your name on a board.
Hold on. We just got all of our taxes raised so that you could have learned how to pick people's brains. Why are men, simps if you will, so perplexed by these e-thoughts, OnlyFans girls, TwitchCon girls, whatever they are? Why are they so obsessed, from your opinion, from your actual degree-having ass, as I say that very classically, what is your view on that? Why is it a thing? Why are men like this? Why?
Actually, there used to be a very large market for a completely different kind of porn that has died out as an art form because of these e-thoughts. And if you think about the billions of dollars that went into VHS tapes for, sex tapes and whatnot, that is now people getting Pornhub for free. They have all this extra, fungible money that they could just throw at e-thoughts.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like, video stores adult video stores used to be like a $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
They're dead now.
Yeah.
So now we've got all this extra cash. What do we do with it?
Right. These guys don't go out. They don't socialize. They don't do anything. You're right. And so they have this extra money. And so they can just throw it.
Hang on. I would like to point.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in really quick. I want you, the audience, to understand this in no way reflects on you, because I know when we talk about this, especially when we have new panel members on, I'm not saying like JMO sometimes, like Billy kind of thought he was saying something it wasn't the other week. So I want to point this out. We are in no way saying that men are the problem here. What we are addressing is the men that are the fucking problem.
Right.
I, for example, don't go on OnlyFans and spend money on these dumb fucking Quantas. However, you probably know a guy that does, and he's an idiot. That's what we're talking about. Anyway, Mando, to your point.
Okay. When it comes to the whole fungible money adult video thing, some of us never went to those kinds of places, even though technically they were still in existence when we could go to them. But with the whole wanting attention from people, I think that's actually a big key part of the overarching thing that no one seems to want to address.
Yes.
AKA it's the elephant or the rhino in the room.
Yes.
Indeed.
I agree.
Because,
I agree.
Because how many dudes out there, and this is just a rhetorical question, have had absolutely zero experience with women? And I'm not talking about the basement dwelling troglodytes that everyone thinks of when you describe what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a guy who you see him walking down the street is your average Joe who 10 years ago, even 20 years ago, would have been seen by a lot of these ladies as, oh, that's the kind of guy I want to get with. He's driven, he's moderately cute, and hey, he looks like a nice guy.
Because
there's
shit.
Oh, I just want to jump in. I want to say two things here. One, like I said, I want you guys to redirect. So if you or somebody you know is a simp, just go back to the beginning of the show where I mentioned the finding your own excellence and pursuing that. And I'm not talking about this alpha Chad bullshit energy where you pay a guy $300 an hour to tell you how. Fuck those guys.
We're doing it for free.
But the Mandos,
I do it for free. We all do it for free. Anyway, the point that I'm making is stop with the fucking I've never talked to a woman. I need to pay somebody to give me attention. They hate you, for one. Let me just tell you that. Here's an unpopular fact. They hate you. The women that are taking your money hate you. They find you repulsive and disgusting, but they're happy to take your money. Stand by. part 2. This is the important part. Men's interests are targeted. I watch a lot of fishing content, and it's flooded with e-thoughts that are fake fishing in string bikinis. It's pushed. Here's something I want to point out with that. Every fucking where you go. I just pointed this out. We're doing this now. We're doing this, right? Fucking cool. Everywhere I fucking go now, it's women thirst trapping you. Can they skate? Sure, but that's the content. They wear like little skimpy skirts and bikini tops and no pads, no helmets, no nothing. Which I'm not saying most skaters are like anti that anyway, but they're showing as much as they can, right? And then they get all the views and the attention and everything because men are programmed to want fucking, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
I know, kind of tag along on that.
Go ahead.
There was a t-shirt t-shirt pattern years ago that was popular in one of my main hobbies.
Yeah.
Beware the female gamer. She knows that men can't concentrate when rolling dice in a low-cut shirt.
Yep.
Here's the thing, Rhino. Here's the thing.
Let me get the squirrel on the screen.
No matter where men go in this culture, no matter what type of community, no matter what type of spot you try to create for just men, they will follow.
Well, you remember back in the day. I know that Mando knows for sure. But back in the day, some of the older guys are going to remember these days where like Star Trek conventions or whatever nerd con they had, like it was the fucking fat, stinky guys that didn't know how to use deodorant. And most people had no interest in that shit and didn't want to be a part of it, didn't go to that. It was for the nerds. And now every con, everything you see is they find the skankiest fucking characters they can find to portray, and they show up wearing nothing but like a string fucking bikini, calling it cosplay. I'm not bragging or boasting. I'm just telling you, on my armor, I've built like full Star Wars, like TIE pilots, Kyber troopers, fucking shore troopers.
Nice.
I've done everything. Some of these fucking pieces of armor that I built by myself, I did it. I mean, they did the plastic molding, but I still had to cut it, trim it, fit it, put the cooling fans, everything in it. I spent like $3,000 on these fucking things. A woman can go down to fucking Target or wherever the fuck, Victoria's Secret, I don't know, whatever, and spend like $20 and act like she's a fucking cosplayer. Are you fucking kidding me? The TIE pilot I have back here, which I'm not trying to do show and tell, but maybe I'll show you before the stream ends. To build that thing took me 6 fucking months. It's got electronics in it. It's got like wireless headset, fucking cooling fans, functional light box, the whole fucking thing. It's got a sound amplifier with sound effects, the whole thing. It changes your voice to sound like how they do in the movie. I spent thousands on that fucking thing. And then you have, again, like, I'm dedicated to it. I think it was fucking, like, it was for a worthy cause. A lot of charity events, you do stuff like that in, right? And then you turn around, you go to these conventions, and it's just all these models with validation attention. I went to, it was like a Turtle Con, actually. They had like the actors there, and I didn't want to pay the fucking $80 or whatever to get signatures. I just went to check out the stuff they had there. But there was like this table that all these dudes were ogling, and these were like 5s at best. But because they were barely dressed, all the dudes were like, "Oh, look at that! Look, is she hot to you, bro?" Like, dude, she wouldn't be hot on a good day, but she's not wearing any clothes, so
That's all it takes, man.
Yeah,
it's true. They infiltrate fucking everything, and like I said, a decade or two ago, this was the sweaty fat guy convention, not the fucking e-thought convention. You know what I mean?
You bring up the 5s during deployment.
Mm-hmm.
This is a phenomenon like all of us are very familiar with. Anybody who's been deployed, you will see 2s, 3s, 5s turned into 10s while you're deployed. And of course, they're loving the attention. And of course, they don't mind if they get pregnant and have to get sent back home.
Yeah, shit, that's a goal.
Right. Those of us that were overseas in the military know about the Queens for a Year, whether it's in Iraq, Afghanistan, Germany, or Korea. And it's the same concept.
I I've made this analogy before, guys. If any of you have ever watched what I do, think about at one time the home was the man's castle. Then
Used
that
to be.
started shrinking down to then the man had his own room was his castle. The
Then the
bathroom,
garage.
The man
then
cave.
the garage. Yeah,
Mhm.
man cave. Then the garage, then the outside garden. Pretty soon the women followed him outside to the gardens.
Yep.
Then he had to go to the bars to get away from her. That was
Hmm.
taken. The barber shops used to be it. They were taken. The pool
Mhm.
halls,
The gyms.
everywhere. The one of the last bastions that men have was the Comic-Cons. Now they're coming there. They will follow you no matter where you go because you have what they want. Money,
Yep.
resources.
Mm.
They don't want to gain all this on their own. They want you to give it to them.
And
You're
they
goddamn
can't.
right, sir.
It's because they can't. In my opinion, they can't function without men. They can't
Right.
function without some kind of. I need someone to follow. I need someone to lead me. I need.
Yeah.
I need the attention. I need this and that. This and that. That's why they follow you to all these places. They don't give a shit about Star Trek or Turtles, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the attention that the attention and the emotion is what gets them. That is women's currency. Is the emotional. It doesn't matter if they hate you or love you. It's the same.
Yeah.
It is the same. So,
You know
go
what?
ahead.
I'm going to jump in on that too. A lot of good points tonight. You guys are doing an awesome job. If you know a female friend, right? Let's say I'm gonna kind of put these pieces together for you because it's gonna make sense. You have a female friend. She's 30 something, right? She's on the internet, good looking girl, whatever. She has a ton of male friends. And she's talking about why I can't find the one and why I always meet douchebags and this and that. But you'll tell her. And again, you guys have got to have run across this. If you've been on the planet more than a week, you know what I'm talking about, right? She'll have a bunch of toxic dudes and fucking simps and people that want feet pics and whatever else, in her inbox daily. And you'll say something simply like, if you get rid of all of those dudes, you might actually be able to see the decent dudes that are actually like maybe good matches for you, but instead like you keep the players and the assholes around because attention and validation. And again, they don't care about the quality. They simply care about the validation. So you can find a woman who is now going into her pre-box wine and catland almost wall phase, and she still doesn't get it. And then she'll act like a deer in the headlights. What do you mean validation? What do you mean attention? What do you fucking mean? You're sopping it up like a fucking mop on a dirty floor. Like you don't care about the quality and what you're doing. What women don't understand, and I think this is the biggest thing, a woman with a bunch of dudes, like even casually like talking to her, even casually in all of her photos and everything. The first time a dude like let's say, not to call anybody on the show, but the first time Mando sees a girl posting a photo and there's a bunch of dudes like, you're cute, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. You're like, no, fuck that chick. Fuck that chick. I'm staying away from her. So not only is she getting the attention and validation from all of the guys that would either pay to see feet pictures, which is fucking pathetic, or would pump and dump her just for the chance to do it, but not take her seriously. She's getting all the attention and validation from the two groups she can't stand, while eliminating anybody that might actually be marriage material for her, if that's what she wants to pursue. And these women are so ignorant to that because they cannot put down the attention and validation portion. As a matter of fact, I've seen personally women ruin their own relationships because in the relationship they cannot put down the attention and validation shit. They can't delete the ex. They can't delete the 5 guy friends that for a fact are trying to get in her pants, but she says, "Oh no, they're like a brother to me." Like, no, they're fucking not, bitch. We know what's going on. But you can't stop. You can't stop. It's like a fucking crack addiction. Like, you just can't put it down because attention, validation, currency to women. And no matter how toxic it is, they cannot and will not, even if you put it in their face and point out that it is self-destructive behavior, they cannot stop. So anyway, there's my 2
Right.
cents.
Rhino, you mind if I give a little bit of a personal experience thing here?
Yeah, briefly, yes.
There's a girl I knew back in Fort Hood, Texas, that I had a thing for. She knew I had a thing for her. And one day she actually comes up to me, and this is well before I knew anything about Red Pill and all this other stuff.
Right.
And she goes, "You're such a good guy. I don't want to go out with you though because you're like a brother to me." That was
Everybody
literally
watching this show's heard that. Every single person watching this show. In the chat. If you have heard that, say hell yes. If you've never been told that, say no. Just say
No,
it in the
one
chat, yes
time
or
I
no.
was actually your brother. Sorry.
literally
Shut up, J-Mo.
literally right after she said that, I looked at her and go, "I'm volunteering to go to this unit going to Iraq tomorrow."
Mm.
And she was like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going to be sticking around just to be your fallback plan."
Right. There you
Well,
go.
going to Iraq might have been a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
I mean, I
Right,
understand
man.
getting as far away as you can, as quick as you can.
yeah, and Fort Hood's known as a black hole for military careers.
Yeah. Crusader, go
You're
ahead.
more
bad
Jump
likely to
in.
survive deployment than being in garrison at Fort Hood.
Yeah. Crusader, go ahead.
Well, I've heard a multitude of people on panels, people on channels talking about women chasing validation, women chasing resources, this, that, the other thing. I've heard it so many times. I'm convinced nobody knows the reason it goes deeper than that.
Please do. Go on.
And this is something that's probably be very difficult for a lot of people to understand. But men are hardwired as providers and protectors. Our self-identity is greatly, closely related to those primal drives, those primal urges. That's what's allowed the speciation of the human race to continue on. If men cannot find a partner to provide and protect, look at it yourself. You don't have to say anything to me, but every time you've been injured, you've been sick, something has happened to where you yourself feel absolutely helpless, where you can't take care of and or provide for yourself. That's the absolute worst and most vulnerable feeling and sensation you've ever had in your lifetime. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Now, let your brain chew on this. Women understand that they physically are not as capable as men in a multitude of scenarios and situations. Women's self-esteem is greatly related to that innate vulnerability that women have within them. So women are constantly seeking the attention of men, knowing that a man can provide and protect her, historically speaking, from the dangers of the outside world. The world is a dangerous place. Now imagine that sensation you have when you can't take care of and fend for yourself. Imagine that being your default setting. You feel vulnerable, you feel weak, you feel that you can be just taken advantage of as a toy, thrown around, whatever. Imagine that as your default setting. And you know, if you find a guy that's got resources, you know, a guy who's exercises, you know, someone who can hunt, fish, provide, protect, build, is part of a tribe, is part of a group. She latches onto one guy in that group. That guy, in turn, will bring her into the fold of the group. So that is a foundation of why they go after, you know, the resources. They chase the attention and the validation, because humans are pack animals at our core. That's what we are. And if you're alone, you're dead. So someone who has that innate vulnerability, they're going to do whatever they can to chase feeling that's somewhat slight semblance of security. Have the beta orbiters, have all these guys in her friend zone, have all these guys around her. Why? because she feels vulnerable from the moment she wakes up until the moment she goes to sleep. If you look at the way women behave in social settings and social scenarios, women always on couches, love seats, recliners, how many times do you see women kick their shoes off, curl up into a fetal position into a corner, back themselves against a wall, huddle everything as close to them as they possibly can? If you start noticing that in female behavior in social settings, you're going to notice women pull everything in and cocoon themselves. Men spread themselves out. And you're going to notice. You're going to notice that women, when they see men that they're close to, they trust, and they're friends with, they will actually cower and cuddle and kind of nestle themselves into that guy that they know they can trust. You're going to start to see that. And everybody seems to overlook that elephant in the room.
I think you
That is a very good
Question.
point.
nailed it.
I think
Nailed
it's it. Yep.
I have a
Completely.
question then that's kind of spinning of that.
Sure.
What you just threw out there. Okay. Now here's the scenario. Woman does exactly what you just said. Goes to a guy that she is friends with or trusts, thinking that he's going to protect her. Then all of a sudden he pushes her away and kind of alienates her. What does that do to her psyche?
That's going to actually challenge. That's going to actually lead her to start challenging what she thinks and believes about that individual. She's going to what she'll do a number of things at that point in time. She's going to start as she starts to question him. What she will start to do is she'll start to shit test him with different things, challenge him in different ways, challenge him in front of friends and other associates, family members, other people within a social circle that she thinks that he is actually in and or trying to get into and elevate his status socially. She'll start pulling the blame and shame game. She's going to start to do the name calling. She's going to try and ostracize him because men use and work with physical violence. Women use psychological and emotional violence, so to speak. That's they know physically they will never win, but they can manipulate people's way of thinking.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I jump in really quick?
Yeah, and then we're going to have to pull this back in because we, I don't say we waffled tonight, but we went off the rails a little bit, so we're going to reel it back in.
And the thing is like if that guy doesn't waver from his frame, so to speak, she's going to start questioning her beliefs and being like, shit, maybe I'm wrong. Because women, they need to be in a group and fit in with a group because that's their survival instinct. It all goes back to the caveman days of 50,000 years ago or whatever. So yeah, if you can keep that frame, because I've done it, I've been that guy. I've been the guy on both sides, the simp guy, and I've been the alpha Chad guy or whatever. And when you have that frame and you stick by it, and they can't make you waver from that, then they start going like, oh shit, maybe he's right. Maybe this is the way I need to be thinking about things or doing things. They need to be led. They want to follow. I think it all goes back to that, and to be with a strong guy like that.
Fair enough.
So, what do you guys think?
Yep.
Yeah,
I think psychologically that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
That's not.
But it all
entirely
goes
what I
back
was
to
looking for, but yeah.
But
it's
it all
close.
goes back to that survival thing, though. That's what it's all about, because they need to be with a strong group with strong guys and stuff like that. And if they shit test you and you waver, so to speak, they're like, well, if I can get this guy, then any motherfucker can can dominate this guy. I don't want that.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
On
my
that note, I agree with that, but we have to push on forward because we had several other things to cover as well, and we have definitely held on to this one for a while, so I don't want it to be the focus, because again, this is about enjoying the ride, not loathing. Anyway, but we do have we do have this. I want to cover a little bit more of it because this is actually something that should bother you. And this is the double standard in society that I cannot stand. If a men did what these women are doing, they would be in federal fucking prison. But because they're women, it's acceptable. At least it is or it isn't. I'm not sure, Twitch. Make up your mind. Let's get into this.
When people talk about the Twitch meta, maybe it's IRL streaming, maybe it's eating fast food, or maybe it's like the cinnamon challenge, or maybe it's the whatever, playing Among Us, whatever's popular turns into a meta, turns into a trend. Well, one particular meta on the platform is predatory, in my opinion, and I want to share with why it's hilarious and pathetic, but it's also more sinister, and I hope that you'll hear me out on it because, I don't see a lot of people sharing this part of it. Most people just look at these girls with their hanging their bobs out to get viewers, ha ha ha, slut, or something like that you'll hear. But I think it's far more sinister, than people understand. It's extremely predatory. I think it's gross. It's very borderline P word, I think. So there's a new meta on Twitch, which is essentially women not wearing their tops and cutting off the camera just above the areola is essentially what it is. Some of them even pathetically greasing their chest up to make it reflective. Okay. You see this, pictures. I'm not even going to show the picture because, this one's okay. When they're live, it goes much lower than this. Okay. You see, Twitch is one of the net's top broadcasting platforms, filled with a wide array of live content that is just for everyone to enjoy. However, some streamers have discovered certain strategies for optimizing their channels. Something called a meta. For example, Twitch became the subject of scrutiny in 2021 for the hot tub meta. The ASMR meta took over this.
What I want you to understand really quick, what he's getting into here, and we can't watch the whole video. Like I said, we're already over on time for the segment by a long shot. I want you to understand that Twitch was designed for gaming, but more importantly, bigger than that, and I'm going to mute mics here really quick just so we don't have background noise. So if you have background noise, please mute yourself. This was designed for gaming, which means this is where it gets fucking sick. So I do need you to hear this part, because you can do something about this. Like the enjoy the ride thing aside, you can do something about this situation. This app can be used by children, and they don't need to be 18 to use this app. Okay. That specifically means you have women being predatory towards an audience that is underage. Okay? That to me is a problem. No matter how you cut it. And these women know what they're doing, and they know their audience. And they know their audience has their mom and dad's credit card, more importantly. And they know if they can accumulate their audience and groom them to follow them into adulthood, then they have their core fan base, right? That gives them money in the future. That's predatory. That is, if a man did this, prison. But we don't have that problem. Again, monitoring background noise. Please, if you have fans or any background noise, just watch for it. This is an issue. And yet, as a society, we overlook this. This is the same thing, and it grosses me the fuck out. And I see it in the comment sections on a lot of news articles or videos or whatever. When it comes to like a minor male child having relations with an adult female teacher, all the dudes are like, hell yeah, I wish it was that lucky when I was a kid. Like, bro, why are you like advocating for, it's still grape, I know I put a G on there. That's because of YouTube, even though we cuss on here and who cares, but whatever. You're advocating for great, and you're making it sound cool. Like, you do understand that that woman is just as wrong as if a male teacher did that to your daughter. You do understand that, right? I don't understand men. Like, I wish I had teachers that hot. Like, you do understand, and some of you do have children. Some of you do have daughters. I want you to just think about that for a second. If a male teacher came on to your daughter and exploited her, assaulted her, how is that any different from a female teacher or a female adult Twitch person exploiting male children? How's that any different? It's not, is what I'm telling you. It's not. But our society is so sick and depraved that you've convinced yourselves that women assaulting, raping male children is cool. It's not. It's not. And I know a lot of you that watch the show are smart enough to know that, but look at these comment sections when you see the teacher that got arrested and then slapped on the wrist and 3 days of community service for assaulting a male student, right? It's that ridiculous. I'm not being specific. I'm just saying in general. It's egregious. It's sick. It's depraved. And again, I'm talking about enjoying the ride. This part's hard for me to enjoy, which is why it was the highlight reel, the opener, because we've got other stuff we can laugh about later. But this one bothers me because specifically, I think men need to reflect on this. Like, just because women are doing it doesn't mean it's okay. And women, what I'd really like to see is women challenge each other and maybe, I don't know, food for thought, call your own out on this, especially if you disagree with it. Maybe you should shame your own sex out of doing shit like this, especially when it involves children. Let's continue though, shall we?
Hang on.
Now, in both of these,
quickly, we gotta roll through this quickly.
Real quick question, if possible, and this is geared towards Crusader and Agent of Doubt.
Yep.
Is there a real difference between psychological programming and rooming with a G?
Technically, they're within the same species of behaviors, I get in my humble opinion. It's social psychological as well as sociological manipulation, generally speaking. Agent, what do you think?
Yeah, one of those terms is broader than the other, but definitely they're within the same family and use the same tactics very often.
Okay. Well, there you go. Let's roll through this. This is a long clip. We're not going to play the whole thing, but we are going to get into the meat and potatoes of it before we go to break. I'm trying not to keep videos too long anymore. We've still got like 5 articles left, so we're going to have to go through them. But this one was important anyway.
Particular examples, it was scantily clad women targeting 12-year-old boys. Okay, that's the gross part about it. And I want to talk about that. So now there's this thing called the topless meta. You have this.
So you get the point.
I do have something to add for that part right there.
Yeah.
When they're targeting 12-year-old boys, you know that you can't have a bank account at that age. So if we're trying to explain the money that's being thrown at these women, these boys have stolen their parents' credit cards and are using their parents' funds, which they don't feel the loss of. So that's another explanation for all this money. If these e-thoughts are targeting children that are too young to have a bank account, well, obviously they're not using their own bank account.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
In the platform's community, guidelines on spicy content. Twitch's guidelines on this type prohibit.
This is the part I wanted to cover. I want to get past that little segment just because I'm not trying to push it with YouTube, even though that Jeremy does. There we go.
Now, of course, she isn't the only streamer participating in this. Other broadcasters have also joined with similar content, leaving commenters across social media baffled as to how its content hasn't been warranting a ban for violating the platform's community guidelines on spicy content. Twitch's guidelines on this type prohibit females presenting individuals from showing any nip unless they're actively feeding a child. Many viewers argue that these streamers are finding ways to skirt Twitch's guidelines. Now, of course, this person doesn't seem too bothered by the backlash, even poking fun at their fellow creators, but urging them to take part in it. Now, I want to tell you why this meta is gross, predatory, and sick. Okay. Some people might say, yes, of course, not everybody is 12 years old on Twitch. I understand it. Sometimes I watch Twitch, right? There's two avenues here that I want to share with you. And by the way, if you agree or you disagree, don't forget that Christmas is right around the bend.
Oh, here we go.
Coffee Brand Coffee
Hang
has,
on.
in my opinion,
Damn it.
Fast forward to that. You bastard. You
Self-promotion.
Go on to some website that does this kind of thing. I don't really know. I know there are many out there. Cam sites, right? Why don't they just do that? Or why doesn't Twitch just have a section for this, right? Where you can have an age verification, this, that, and that, right? It's because these women know that they would get no attention in a sea of other women exposing themselves, right? That is the harsh reality. That is the truth, and that is what makes this predatory. If these women were just out there saying, "Oh, I want to be a normal, I want to be a, I want to sell my body on the internet just like everyone else," then they would be on those sites.
Right.
They know that they're essentially surprise boobs on Twitch, a place where you're not used to seeing it, right? A place where you're not used to seeing it, suddenly you see it and it becomes extremely popular. That's the reason, that's the reason that these ASMR streams, right? I mean, 45% of the viewers, nearly 50% of the viewers on Twitch are between the ages of 13 and 17. So 1 out of every 2 viewers that these women get are under 18 years old.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
I can leave it at this. We're not going to cover the rest of this video
Can I add
because we
something
do have
real
to take
quick?
a break. Yeah, let me get through this. My biggest problem here is that Twitch said it was okay. They approved this. They said we're going to allow basically Oren Pay on our side without having to prove age verification. And then they rolled it back a couple days later. That's where this video that we're watching basically gets to and explains. That is my problem. That they were going to go ahead and roll it out, and then they went, "Oh, hey, we could be breaking federal law," but they were going to do it. And if they could do it, they would do it. Twitch, fuck you. Jackal, go ahead.
The part that makes this particularly bad is you don't need to have an account on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
To see that. You do not need to log in to see that. That's what makes this even worse, because sometimes Twitch, because of their privacy settings and all of that, you will be logged out after 30 days. So if 30 days you go, you just everyday use, eventually you're going to be signed out and you're going to have to sign back in. And if you have 2-point I think 2-point qualification or something like that, to make sure that somebody's not trying to hack their way into your account, you are going to be sent a code on your phone, and you're going to have to plug that in to get in. You don't have to do any of that. And usually what happens with a quote-unquote new member or new visitor to the Twitch website, they're going to put the newest, hottest metas that are striking gold and getting the most viewers and making the company the most money on the recommended section directly below the top stream or whatever they've got running on the top. They'll have 2 of them. usually if you have an account, it will say streams we think you'll like. So it will be relevant to what you usually tune into or who you're following or subscribing to. If you're new to the site, meaning you don't have an account tied to your current window opening, they will just show you whatever is the hottest thing that is getting the most views, what's making them the most money. So if something like that is getting the most views, then you don't even have to browse for it. It will be right there. Twitch will put it there for you. Thinking that it is the hottest thing and you might like it.
Wow.
I
That's pretty
just
fucked.
had a disturbing thought, and I need to ask a question for anyone here who actually uses Twitch or has used
All right.
Twitch.
This will be the
What's the
last question before we jump into the transition to the second
What's
half.
the
So,
minimum age to create a Twitch account as a content creator?
19.
Okay. What's to say that you don't have someone who's right on the cusp that is female doing this when they're still technically in high school?
I mean, that's happening on TikTok all the time. TikTok has that problem.
Jackal sees exactly where my brain went. Because I watched way too many Law and Order episodes.
Everybody that if she does shit like that, like
Everybody
does it like a
committed a
topless
federal
stream,
offense.
technically everybody that clicked just so much as accidentally, even if you misclicked onto her stream and viewed it for 0.2 seconds, the FBI is going to be immediately going to have some points against you, and you technically committed a federal offense. And you're getting put on a list.
The federal government watches TikTok and Instagram like fucking hawks, and they do it on purpose just for the event of baiting a fucking predator. Like, a girl, and I think she was like 15. I mean, it didn't make national news, but it did a story on it on fucking Instagram. Posted a video of her shaking her ass. Some fucking old actual pedophile fucking commented on it, and he's serving time in prison. Now, I'm not saying that that's a fucking wrongful thing of the FBI to do. Get that pervert the fuck off the street.
Yeah.
But, you know, getting back to these underage people being on Twitch and shit, like, yes, it is the women's fault to a very big degree. But at the same time, if you don't know what the fuck your kids are doing, that's a parenting problem that needs to be fucking addressed too.
Lack
like,
of father in the home.
No, it's not even that. No, I'm not even gonna take it that far. Whether you're a single mom or a single dad and you're just watching your kids, that's one thing. But if you're seeing fucking bills come up on your goddamn credit card for Twitch and you don't have a Twitch account, it's probably time to pull your kid aside and wonder what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, when I was like I said, when I was a kid, I was heavily fucking monitored and I didn't have access to a credit card.
Yeah.
So if these parents just don't want to pay attention, it goes both ways on that.
No,
Parents don't get blamed for shit these days, and that bothers me.
Again, I was just asking a question because I had that random thought as we were
No, you're
closing this
good.
out.
Like, if my kids grow up to be a piece of shit, it probably had something to do with my shitty parenting. Just throwing that out there.
All right, guys, we are going to move into the second half of the show. I'm going to read this chat really quick, even though it's from Agent of Doubt, goddammit. If I throw money at him on the internet while he is streaming and I expect him to interact with my posts, does that make Rhino an e-thought?
Yes.
Yes.
He's already a manho. We have evidence of this.
I hate you all. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the break here. I know this is going to get me a copyright thing, so if you want to see our videos in their entirety without having pieces clipped out after the fact, if you don't watch these live, head over to Rumble, where you should subscribe, right, for sure, or even MGTOW.tv. We've had some problems with them. I'm going to have to email them and see if we can unfuck that, because the last few episodes have been either no viewership, even though it normally used to, or the video just disappears after the stream. So we've had some problems. Hopefully we can get sorted. Yeah, but Rumble for sure. I want to see Rumble's numbers higher than this. Right now we have less viewers on Rumble than we do on YouTube. Let's make that change. Head over to redpillrhino.com to find the links to the Rumble of MGTOW as well. If you'd like to donate to the channel, and of course you don't have to, but it does help keep this thing going, keep the lights on, keep the equipment running the way it's supposed to, and keep the streams in order, as well as any other upgrades we might do in the future. You can donate to us, of course. PayPal is an option. I know a lot of you don't use that because of the way they screwed over Pop and Blake. Understood. We also have Cash App. There? Yes, there. There's the Cash App thing. You can just point your phone at it. Boom, done. Or, of course, redpillrhino.com, where you can do that. Oh, I did want to actually elaborate. We will be doing new merch. New merch is coming. I'm going to find a new merch store. We're going to do like T-shirts with the thumbnails from the show. So tonight's show with that rhino with the skateboard and the skeletons, that'll be a shirt. If there was any other shirt ideas you liked, we're going to make those into shirts, maybe hats, backpacks, whatever. And that way you can actually buy relevant merch, stuff that was fun from the show. Like maybe we'll do a Bayou Billy shirt or something like that. But the stuff that we do sell currently, that is actually done through Streamlabs. So it's not like done out of my closet over here. Streamlabs produces the merch through like a third-party company, and then a portion of the proceeds go back into the show. So that's how that works. Because I know some of you were curious, like, are you just selling your beer koozies that Jimmy uses out of the closet? Like, no, it's done through Streamlabs. So there you go. But we will be switching to something else.
Just wash those koozies, please.
Yeah, please wash the koozies. But whatever Pop and Blake settle and decide on, that's probably where I'm going to go. Unless I find if I find better, I'm going to use it. So, but yeah, I really am looking forward. Tonight's thumbnail especially, like the Enjoy the Ride fucking rhino with the fucking skeletons on the board. That's a cool T-shirt. So we're gonna make that happen. Anyway, we're gonna jump into the second half. I'm gonna play some Jeffrey Paul. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Jeffrey Paul on YouTube. He does a lot of the jams for a lot of these shows. Excuse me for a second. Again, guys, if you have background noise, please mute yourselves unless you're talking. Please, please, please. But yeah, go check out Jeffrey Paul. He is on iTunes and Spotify as well. So if you want to buy his tunes, that's where you can do it. Let's go check this out. We'll be back in like 5 minutes. So if you need to empty your bladders, fill your drinks, do whatever you got to do, we'll be here. We've got a bunch more articles to get through. Obviously, we got to change the pacing. We've been way too sluggish on the first half, so the second half is bullet points for sure. But I want to put a positive spin on this. No matter how bad the news is with everything we talked about the first half, again, that shouldn't be your focus. Yeah, the world's fucked up and people are doing really shady, sketchy, fucked up shit, but we know this. And the world is a really shitty place right now, period. Maybe it's always been a shitty place. I don't know. But you don't have to live a shitty life. You can enjoy it. You can still have fun. You can still have a fun, enriching, exciting, well worthwhile life. And that is your choice. So don't be a Debbie Downer. You know, get some hobbies, have some fun, cross off your bucket list. You only get one shot. And I keep saying that. You only get one shot. As far as I know, I've never died and come back to know about it. So until I can prove that, you get one chance. Don't waste it. We will see you in 5 minutes. All right, I think we're back. Shoot. Yeah, it's kind of stupid. Jeffrey Paul owns the rights to this video, which means he's given me permission to play it. Yet we'll still get a copyright strike from a foreign country, not even the United States, every time I play it. So that's cool. We haven't sorted that out. Jeffrey probably still wants to know the answer why. I wish I had the answer, but that's I love that jam, and Jeffrey did a good cover on that. So, who do we got back there? Hang on a second. We lost a couple guys during the break here. That is okay. Listen, it's nothing against anybody on the panel, but background noise is very distracting. So if you come on the show, it's nothing against you. We just got to keep you muted unless you have a point to make, because background noise, sometimes if you're watching at home on a TV or whatever, or you've got a headset on, you can hear that and it starts distracting you from the rest of the show. So that's why we do that. Anyway, let's get back into meat and potatoes of this. It looks like File Explorer is starting to work. So we'll just jump into the next article. I'm just going to get through a couple of these really quick because we waffle on far too long, and I want to stay on the positive. So guys on the panel, I want to redirect this a little bit. Let's look at the articles, but then put a positive spin on it, and let's change this from the doom and gloom, because that is exactly what we're trying to avoid. Because it's easy, especially with the last topic. Like, it's easy to go down doom and gloom road. But again, like I said, shouldn't be your focus anyway. Women are not the focus. They're the they're the addition to your life when you're already having a good life. They are not the purpose to your life. Okay, so that's bottom line. What I want you guys to focus on there. So even though we talked about e-thoughts and all that nonsense, I really want you guys to understand, like, and it's going to be hard to break some of you out of that thinking, but women do not matter to you. If that is your focus, you're doing it wrong. Okay? They shouldn't matter to you. Your life should matter to you more than anything, and having a good life. Again, nothing against anybody if we had background noise tonight. It's nothing personal. It's just to keep the show cleaned up. Same thing with bad mic quality. We have had issues with that in the past too. All right, let's continue. We had this article as well. Let me see if this will work.
Should I post the one that I had in the Gilded?
You can if you want. We can see if we got time for it. Let's see. Seattle finally reclaims Cal Anderson Park, site of deadly Chaz occupation, removing drug addicts and the homeless. All right. On Wednesday, the Seattle Department of Parks and Recreation, working with police, finally cleared away the last remnants of the deadly 2020 Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, Chaz, a makeshift garden in Cal Anderson Park that activists claim was a memorial to Black lives lost to police violence. However, activists failed to memorialize the 2 black teens who were killed in the zone during the occupation. Yes. According to the city officials, the makeshift garden was being removed due to public health and public safety issues, and the need for maintenance, including reseeding the area and turf restoration. Seattle activists are mourning the end of BLM Community Garden. Sure. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
Well,
a bunch of criminals took over a park. That's what I get out of it. Go ahead,
Rhino. I don't know the exact date the way that Blake does, but can we take this as an opportunity to celebrate that Mr. Floyd is several years sober now?
Yes. That is true.
That's a positive.
That is definitely enjoying the shit show. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. But yes,
Mr. Rhino, I do happen to remember a time. We're talking more than a decade ago.
Then. I know what you're getting into.
More than a decade ago,
what we were there for.
There was a different protest that had a similar like autonomous zone to it with public camping and whatnot. Yep. And some of the things that the city said were present were definitely never present when either of you or I were there. And so it was very hard to trust what they were saying about that autonomous zone.
I'm not
So
so sure
why would
the
we
things
trust
you
these
said.
people?
I'm not sure the things that you think weren't present. Did you ever go there after the sun went down? A lot of things that shouldn't have been going on there were definitely present.
Well, it definitely wasn't good for the aesthetics of the
It
place.
wasn't
I'll give it
just
that.
the aesthetics.
But I did not see any rats at all. And that was one of the things that they had claimed, that there was this giant rat infestation.
All right, we'll talk about it. So me and Mr. Clifton, the communist that he is, we went to the Occupy protest at one point. He was filming, and I was all about, yeah, fuck big corporations and big government. I still am, actually. But anyway,
Fucking hippie.
fuck them, fuck them. But anyway, I went down there to find out that it quickly devolved into bullshit. It had nothing to do with corporate, greed or anything. It was about a bunch of hippies, as you pointed out.
About faggery.
Yeah, thank you. Now we're banned. Appreciate it. Anyway, no, it was about a bunch of fucking idiots, hippies, drug addicts, homeless that wanted a place to chill out. Take over parks because fuck the man. No, you fucking clowns. That's what it was. Were there rats? Did I see rats? No. Could I see living in your own filth in a public park would attract rats? Oh, yeah, definitely. Were there some shady things, some crimes, some maybe touchy snuggle struggles type stuff going on in those parks with those people in those tents? Oh, yeah, there was. Plenty of it. So, no, these people are filthy whenever they show up. These are the co-opters, if you will. The degenerates, the scum and villainy that show up to co-opt most of these movements. They come in, they set up their dirty, filthy fucking tents and, their showerless lifestyles, and they fucking just camp out and destroy property and destroy the movement to begin with, whatever it is, they come and just destroy it. Can I say there were rats there? I don't know, Mike. I have no clue. But
there were rats in the form of people there.
There were, yes. And when we talk about Chaz, for example, when we talk about Chaz, their community garden was laid on like plywood and then dirt laid on top of it and then plants put in that. That does not count as a garden. But anyway, go ahead.
Was their community garden like in the middle of the street?
No.
I think it was.
No.
Like they were blocking off like streets to like create their own sort of like traffic free zone and all
we can
that.
look at it. We can actually see. Let's take a look. Let's enhance the community garden. Let's take a look.
It's actually in the middle of the park.
Okay.
This is your brain.
This
is
guy?
your brain on drugs. If you remember the ad.
This guy is dead, the one with the sticks.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Did he impale himself?
No, he hammered nails into his girlfriend's head and killed her.
Wow!
And then he ended up in a chlorine treatment tank by his own doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
all right.
interesting
Well,
how you
that
know
guy.
that detail.
There's your community garden that doesn't even have flowers. It just has idiots in it. So there you
Looks
go.
like is he trying to be the trailer trash Darth Maul or something?
Yeah, he's actually trying to fight people. The guy was a nutcase and a big-time druggie.
Is that what that was? It's supposed to be a fight ring, and he's like, come in and challenge me?
Well, yeah.
Trailer trash Darth Maul.
Uh-huh.
I just slapped the shit out of that pussy.
Darth Meth, I should say, actually.
So here's
I went to the Occupy too, by the way.
Hold on. Here's the enjoy the ride part. All right.
Yeah.
They cleaned up the scum and villainy. Finally, it only took them 3 years longer than it ever should have been there, but they did something. So there you go. You can now go to your community park that was once a Chaz community garden once again.
So I've seen footage of Zuccotti Park as well. Zuccotti Park got cleaned up, and they put in engineered ways to keep people from doing the same thing ever again. Rows of trees that would just break up anything like what happened before, and just the way that the benches are made It keeps people from being able to lay down on them. You can only sit on them, stuff like that, to keep it used as the park it was intended to be.
There you go. JMO, you were going to jump in on something there.
So when I did the whole Occupy thing, well, I didn't really do it. I should probably reiterate. This is after you and Agent had left. I had a paintball factory.
Okay.
I see where this is going.
No. So this is when Rhino and Agent were there, it was actually somewhat for a purpose, right? Fuck big government. And then after a while, it just became a homeless camp.
Yeah.
And Rhino will and Agent will completely attest to that. So me and a few buddies, before they ended up moving away, probably for warrants after what we did, we loaded up about 15,000 frozen paintballs.
Ouch.
And I mean, I can tell you confirmed that I knocked out at least 20 people with headshots. But I mean, we went to fucking town on that place. And the sad part is the cops who caught us thanked us.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
Well, it was what? Some odd, hold on.
Don't do that. What he did?
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, first off. It's a great way to get a felony.
God.
But at a certain point, there was, I think, 2,200 people that were at that park at one point who were there for the right reason, to get a point across. And then at the end of it, there was, I think, 1,200 people who were just there to live. And
I don't know.
I wanted... Huh?
I don't know if the numbers were ever that big, but it was definitely a hive of scum and villainy for sure.
Yeah. And at one point, the park was actually separated because when other people found out that some people there were pedophiles and just out there doing weird shit, those were the only ones that we, air quote, targeted heavily.
There you go.
With slingshots?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying, there was a lot of scum that happened there. A lot of scum.
Yeah.
People who were already homeless were being exploited by that movement to pump up their numbers. Like they would be welcomed in, they would be fed and everything. And really, occupations are 24/7, but some of us go home and sleep in our beds because we're not really occupier material. You know, we're go home and sleep in our bed and then come back when we feel like it.
Right, we have
material.
jobs.
yeah, workers, you know. But the people who were homeless, they were useful in as far as they kept it going 24/7 and made it look like it was an actual 24/7 occupation where everyone participating was actually there the whole time. That's what they were being exploited for. And so, yeah, you had all the problems of homelessness added on to it because they were using homeless people to pump up their numbers.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
You know, when you guys were there, it was for the right reason. Towards the end, it was just stupid.
Sean, can you shoot me a link to the video? I see the Twitter article, but not the video that was attached to it. For some reason, that has gone missing. Regarding your topic,
I posted my link in the Gilded.
Argentina is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, let me see if I can look at that.
Yeah, something went awry. We'll pull it up anyway. This is something I found kind of interesting. When Argentina out Second Amendmented us. There you go. That's the best way I can put it. Let me bring this in.
That's good English.
By the way, I posted mine in the
English.
Gilded in the topics.
All right, we will.
The top one's a doozy.
There's no video. It's just a picture.
I could have sworn I saw a video on this, but either way, Argentina's president,
It's
let's just leave it at
Javier Milei.
Milei. Yes.
Yes. Has another major victory today. He has proposed a law that affirms a right to self-defense in Argentina, which they do not currently have. To continue, this will be applied in cases where someone tries to cause bodily harm to you or where they try to invade your property. It also affirms that if the person trying to attack you dies, their relatives cannot sue you after the fact for defending yourself. This is another major Malay victory in the same week where he has banned woke pronoun usage, fucking amen, from government text, enacted reforms that will remove welfare benefits from anyone protesting in the streets, blocking traffic, and ban the usage of the word free to promote taxpayer-funded government programs. That man deserves a very good golf clap for sure. That is fantastic.
And this is the same guy that has been breaking down their major problem with gangs.
Yeah.
This man has incarcerated over 50,000 people.
No. You're thinking of El Salvador there.
El Salvador? Okay,
Is
I
this,
got that mixed
is this
up.
him? Is this his face here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He's got
him.
a very
That's
very
a younger
70s
picture
vibe.
of him. That's
Like a very 70s,
to his rallies.
very 70s news
His
anchor.
hair's a little bit more gray now, but
yeah.
Either
that's
way,
him.
I get you. All right, that's very cool. So, like I said, it's not all doom and gloom. It's just it's funny that Argentina is figuring out how to do the U.S. better than the U.S. is doing the U.S. right now.
Well,
Yeah.
by decree, he also eliminated
12
government branches.
12 ministries are gone.
Wow. Hey, but I've got news for you. Oh, this is sad. Did you fuck up your life and impregnate a woman that now hates you? Well, there's still hope for you.
Who you aiming that at?
Wow.
I don't.
You know, I feel
Pop out of
personally
this.
fucking attacked on this stream now.
I feel it.
Did you?
I think I deserve an apology, sir.
Did you ride the cock carousel and now have 5 babies from 5 different daddies? There's hope for you, and I found it, and you can join now.
Oh God.
Yes, this is true. Where single parents date, you can join at stir.com. I don't even have the article. I just have, this is where you go. Stir.
I would
As in
really
what
like
I'm
to
doing
know
right
the,
now, stirring the pot.
I would really like to know the breakdown between genders on this one.
Let's join, shall we? Let's join.
You want to get
I would love to
signed up
know.
for silver singles again?
More options. Let's go with more options. What am I? Oh my God, this is interesting. You could be a man, you can be a woman, you can be agender, you can be androgynous, bigender, demi-man, demi-woman, gender fluid, gender non-conforming. These are all make-believe, by the way, just so you know. But if you want to dress up like Batman on a Saturday night,
Did anybody say gender dysmorphia? I think I
Or be a Ninja Turtle.
Gender, shut your mouth.
Turtle.
I might do it. Gender questioning, gender variant,
red
gender
rhino.
queer, and it still goes on. Intersex, new choice, non-binary, pangender, polygender. This is a failed website
Is
already. It's failed.
interspecies one of them?
Interspecies.
'Cause
Troglodyte should be
I
one
saw
also.
this goat earlier on Google.
No,
Oh,
marine, no.
Yeah, hey,
I'm just
Go
saying.
back to your crayon.
Hold on.
Someone
He's
get
the
him
Hold
a
on.
crayon.
Hold
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna stop
First
you
off,
all.
Jackal,
He's the
you
kind of
never
guy-
deserved that crayon.
I'm gonna
shit.
mute him. I'm gonna mute him. I muted him. He's the kind of guy, if he saw a goat on the cliff, he'd help push it off just to get himself off. I mean,
Dang.
Unmute me. Unmute me.
you're there.
Unmute
You can-
me.
Go ahead. You're unmuted.
I'm just saying, I saw this goat, and
I really hate that I let you on the show.
I think that I can make it call me Daddy.
You're so dumb.
So let me guess.
bad.
Your favorite.
Thank you for the
Jeff
camera.
Dunham character is
You're welcome.
My favorite what?
your favorite Jeff Dunham character is Ahmed, isn't he?
Oh God, no, I'm a Walter guy all day long.
Oh, because you have the same predilections.
Listen, some goats are just hot, man. You know, you
Hey,
never know till you try.
You can't really blame him for thinking that the goat was a baddie.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's just
Father
like that country
Saunders.
song, Getting
Father
Down on the
Saunders
Farm.
definitely
Get down on the
wants someone to sign him up on stir.com. If anybody can sign Father Saunders up, on stir.com. He definitely just said he wants to be on the website. So somebody help him out.
If we could go back to that website.
Yes, we can.
You're saying that some of those things are imaginary, and I might disagree with that. But the one term intersex,
they are.
That's interesting to me because intersex does exist, but it is not a term that describes your orientation or what you're looking for. But like polyamorous and all that, those terms are more about what you're looking for. And like, if there's a red flag in this world on a dating profile, when you see the word poly, run the fucking the other way.
Polygender. Yeah. Oh, no.
Look. Here's the two that are real. Okay, let me point them out. There's man. There's woman. Man. Woman. Sometimes there's hermaphrodite. Where's that? Is that listed? Do I see it? No.
That would be intersex.
Sexist piece of shit.
Oh yeah, go back up.
Hermaphrodite is actually considered a slur to them. It's intersex.
Fine. Okay, so you've got 3 real options.
I call them
3
halvesies.
real options.
Halvesies.
Yeah, they should probably break this down into different questions because some of it's gender and some of its orientation.
Were you born with a vagina? That's all you need to know.
But you don't mix those two with what do you like in the same question.
Exactly.
Listen.
You got a good point.
Listen. The point is, if you are a single parent now, head to stir.com to stir some shit up. That's it.
No.
And
promises.
All right, signing up now. I'm gonna tell you how it goes.
The point is poking out of JMO's pants.
What?
What the hell? What did I just hear? I
show gets
heard
weirder
something.
and weirder every week. Okay, here's what I wanted to talk about tonight. Because here's the thing. Some of you are not going to like what I have to say, and I don't fucking care. Okay, I kind of care a little bit.
I care what I think,
but I really, a little tiny bit, maybe a little bit. Anyway, listen. If the right does something retarded, or the left does something retarded, and then the other opposing party does an equally retarded thing, they are both, in fact, retarded. So let me just break this down for you. If one party decides to take a candidate off of a ballot with no actual law to do so, right? No legal precedent to do so other than the Civil War and whatever, but who gives a fuck? That's not relevant to right now. He hasn't been convicted of anything at this point, right? If they take Trump off of a ballot, right? Colorado, really retarded state full of a bunch of idiots. Hi, I'm one of them, but I'm not one of them, okay? We're getting there. Don't get ahead of me. Colorado had no reason. Those 5, I think, individuals that represent us.
4.
I don't know, 4 or 5, whatever. They're all fucking cunts. The thing is that's not how a representative government should work. Okay? We get to decide. The people get to decide who to vote for. You know that write-in option that's there as well? We decide that, not our representatives. Okay? Are you following me? So, if a Democrat does something really fucking dumb, like, take a candidate off the ballot, when somebody from the great state of Texas says, well, in that case, we're just going to take your shit pants Joe Biden off the ballot too. It serves you right, you son of a bitch. That's Texas. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm sorry if that offended any of you, but that is also retarded. You shouldn't be doing that. That is also unconstitutional and illegal. This is what causes civil wars, right? We don't want that. We want you, the politicians, to shit shit, sit, whatever. Sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, and let the people decide. Not have major, most successful voter frauds. I mean, whatever the fuck you want to call it now. Fake elections. I mean, you know where I'm going. Okay. We just want to vote and our votes be counted, even though we know we live in a completely corrupt government right now, or under a completely corrupt. We do. I don't think anybody on the left or right can argue that now. Anybody who wants to try is more than welcome on the show. You can tell me how fair and free our government is working.
I have another perspective on this, Rhino.
Please do.
My perspective is, the person removed from the ballot was not convicted yet of the thing that he has been removed for. They just used their judgment on that, and then the Supreme Court of the state said, it's kind of obvious, right? But the reason why it's just not a good measure to say he hasn't been convicted is because he has enough money to delay the court case about that until after the next presidential election. It's already been 3 years and we have no answers, even though pretty much all of the evidence is like videoed. It's all on video. We could have had a case really quickly, but justice moves so goddamn slow that we cannot be using he hasn't been convicted yet as a thing that says, well, we can't employ this thing.
Where's this video? Where's this video?
You haven't seen it?
No, I would love if you could shoot us over a link. I would love to see what the hell you're talking about. We could throw this.
I could provide all that I would need to convict him after the show, but I will say that what it's setting up to be, because by January 4th, if he's not on the ballot by then they have to print the ballots in Colorado, right? But he could still appeal and make it so that it would be legal to write his name in. If as things are right now, he can't even be counted as a write-in. But if he appeals after the ballots are printed without his name, and then he gets the right to be written in, and then he wins as a write-in, that momentum would win the entire election for him. That would be such a momentous thing, and he's the only person I could ever think of that could pull that off.
Yeah, I'm
just saying
something.
It could really backfire on the people that are trying to keep him out of office.
Well, no one said
if he were to pull that off.
I want to point out, just for any of you that may be confused on this, that there is no law in this country that bars even, and I know it's going to shock some of you, but do the research for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Trust but verify. There is nothing that bars even a convicted felon from running for president of the United States in this country. If you'd like to prove me wrong, do your research. We'll talk about it next week if you really want to, because it doesn't exist. Now, that being said, Colorado decided to change their mind temporarily, and we're going to talk about that really quick. So Colorado obviously were the idiots that decided to show us how to do Bud Light as a state, and they're doing a wonderful job. You know, they're also banning styrofoam bags, or excuse me, styrofoam containers and plastic bags as of January in Colorado too. But all the plastic in the stores that they package the meats in, or the cat food in, or everything you eat in, or all the plastic things like all of this crap in the background, that's still perfectly fine. You can still buy all the plastic crap you want, but the plastic bags and styrofoam are bad. We got to get rid of that. So as of January, I'll be hauling my stuff with magic. With magic. We'll figure it out. They want you to buy, you know what this is? This is corporate greed again. They want you to buy those reusable bags that you always forget A little bit of a joke here that you always fucking forget to bring, so you have to buy more corporate greed bags every time you go shopping. That's all this is, in my opinion. Anyway, but let's get back to the point. Colorado puts Trump back on the 2024 GOP primary ballot while the ruling is appealed. Okay. Basically, Colorado's Secretary of State said Thursday that former President Donald Trump will remain on the 2024 primary ballot for certification next week as the state Republican Party appeals a court ruling that found him ineligible for office earlier this month. With the appeal filed, Donald Trump will be included as a candidate on Colorado's 2024 presidential primary ballot, with certification occurs on January 5th, 2024, unless the U.S. Supreme Court declines to take the case or otherwise affirms the Colorado Supreme Court ruling. I do not think with this rational and half-working brain of mine that the Supreme Court of the United States would be stupid enough right now to affirm Colorado's initial decision. I don't think this government is that gloves off retarded. Yet. They are close. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a lot of faith in these openly Epstein list assholes. Okay? But I don't think they're that bold yet. Okay? Now, if they steal if they have the most popular president ever elected again, with more voters that voted for him that are registered voters in the United States, then I think they'd be full retard enough to do something like this. Okay? Anyway, the Colorado Supreme let me get through this. The Colorado Supreme Court ruled 4-3 on December 19th that former president could not receive the Republican nomination because he had unconstitutionally participated in an insurrection against the U.S. government on January 6th. I'd love to see that video we're talking about. I mean, I'd love for you to just take a moment, take a breather, find the link, send it to me, redpillrhino@hotmail.com. We can review it in person because every video I've seen disproves your statement. Moreover, every video I've seen that seems to be surfacing lately confirms that the FBI was involved in a false flag operation to send people into that building. Okay. That is what I have seen. I was not there, nor did I participate in any actions even remotely close to it. But as an observer, I see fuckery afoot and a narrative being painted, and a lot of politicians now admitting it was a false flag. Nancy Pelosi admitting it was a false flag. So, but yeah, no, Orange Man bad. If we have proof, definitive, concrete, 100%, without a doubt, unquestionable, dead to rights proof, I would love to see it because I'll play it on the show. And then minds will be blown, including mine, and I'll just, I'll recant my evil ways. But until then.
May I ask a question, Rhino?
Yes.
In the spirit of fair play, because another top candidate has got provable evidence of misusing documents and misstoring documents, which could be considered treasonous.
Well, that's concrete.
Should that individual be removed from the ballot as well?
Well, again, here's what I said earlier. I answered your question. 2020 is hindsight. I said if one party does something retarded and the other party does the same retarded thing, that makes them both retarded. I would love to know why the impeachment was just, oh, wait, I know why. Corrupt government is why. I want to know why somebody that is openly being investigated for starting proxy wars and doing money laundering with our taxpayer money, using his son for business deals in such transactions, that is all on a laptop that everyone knows about, why that didn't warrant enough evidence for an impeachable offense. I find that a little bit What the fuck? But I mean, we've got to protect the guy that denies his blood granddaughter's existence and doesn't even hang her stocking on the fireplace at the White House. You know, yeah, that's the guy that we got to fucking support and rally behind. The guy that shits his pants in front of the Pope is the guy that we should definitely be supporting right now. Mm-hmm.
Shits his pants while he's sitting on the Pope's lap.
There is a caveat to the impeachment part, though.
Okay.
It requires, unfortunately, a lot of cooperation amongst politicians who can't agree on anything except on how to enrich themselves.
You know,
because
you're right.
you can have somebody openly commit high treason, but if there's not enough votes in the House to start impeachment proceedings, impeachment will never move forward. And we know that the Republican Party and the Democratic Party have a lot of, let's say, mutual interests in not allowing that to happen. But since Trump was a political outsider, they didn't want their status quo upset because he was a threat to that. That's why they banded together. That's why you saw Republicans on the other side say, well, we are going to do this or we're voting in favor for the impeachment proceedings because, we want to see justice done and give him his day in court. We'll let the process decide. The founders did something really wonderful in the way that they set things up. But over the last 250 years, it has been bastardized and weaponized to swing for whoever, in favor of whoever is in power at the moment.
Yeah.
And that long abuse of the Constitution is kind of what we're starting to see right now.
Yeah, I mean,
we are looking like a republic in name only.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. And I know this is the nerd in me, but if you watched the Star Wars prequels, and I'm not going to try to bore you to death with nerd talk, but if you look at the way their form of government just collapsed on itself in the end was because of the infighting and inability to make a decision. We're seeing that here. And there is a line that I'm sure Mando knows better than even I do as the Star Wars nerd that I should be ashamed I don't know the quote, but this is how democracy dies, with thunderous applause.
That's actually pretty damn close.
Yeah, we're watching
close,
it right now.
Yeah, that was Padme that said that when,
Yes.
What was this? This was immediately after the events in the Senate Tower or something like that.
This was right when Palpatine declared the New Order.
Yes,
Yeah.
basically. And everybody was so for it.
Mm-hmm.
They were all clapping for it.
Yeah, the only ones who didn't clap that were shown on screen were the senator from Alderaan and Padme.
All right. Now, this is fiction. We're going to talk about reality now. This was a comparison, though. When you have people applauding either candidate as a presidential election is upcoming being removed from a ballot, that's the thunderous applause. People are cheering on the destruction of their own system designed to protect their own government. The way it was supposed to be designed and operated. People are cheering it on. Like I said, you got Texas and a couple other states trying to take Biden off. You got Maine and Colorado and a couple other states trying to take Trump off. And people are celebrating and cheering and excited and, regardless who it is. Now, I got problems with both of them, to be honest, and I've talked about them on the show. Now, I voted. I did vote for Trump as the upset twice. I did, and I'll admit to that. There's no shame in that. But I had my problems with him, like fast tracking an experimental jab. I have a real problem with that. Allowing a crook, criminal, and genocidal maniac to remain in government. Fauci. I think that should have been somebody thrown in prison under his term, but what do I know, right?
Just his past on his record alone, he should be charged with a lot.
Yeah. But my point is I'm not blind to the problems with both sides. The biggest problem I have right now is how both sides of this country are so divided that they will cheer on the destruction of a constitutional republic. That is what bothers me. Now, what I am telling you, and this is the whole point of this video. Let's wrap this back around to the thumbnail. It's getting bad. It is getting bad. There's no way around that. There's no way to say it's not happening and it's not going to get worse. We can't say that at this point. But what I'm telling you is your life doesn't have to be dictated by this terrible news. Now, of course, this is going to have an impact. There are things to mitigate that. We can talk about that in future episodes. There's obviously the prepper strategies of food storage and ammunition storage and whatever else, freedom seeds. There's plenty of ways to prepare for what's coming. But that's not the point that I'm getting at. A lot of people do the shit is going to hell and please stare at the train wreck and watch the bodies and corpses pile up. There are the people that go build your bunker and buy fucking 6 years of food and hide in this thing because it's going to be a nightmare. But I'm going to tell you, in any situation throughout history, people didn't survive by being just constantly focused on fear. They survived by having some amount of their sanity and their personal lives intact. And that is what I'm telling you. That is more important than any of this bullshit. No amount of preps is going to save you if you're a miserable, paranoid wreck. None. I don't care how good your fucking freeze-dried fucking, rice and potatoes and beans are. I don't care how many years of bullets you've stored up. I really don't care. Because if you are not mentally stable and enjoying your life enough to make it through hard times, you won't make it through the first week in your little homemade bunker. You're not going to make it. This is the whole point. Yes, the world around us is getting fucked. And I'm not just talking about the United States, the elections, whatever, the degeneracy. It's global. I mean, even the economic systems are collapsing everywhere. The best thing you can do right now is simple shit. Like if you, I'm not trying to be cliche here, but if you enjoy artwork, fucking start doing it again. Especially if you put it down, get into that again. If you're into like model building, do it. If you're into outdoor sports, do it. And if you do this whole, well, I'm too old or too busy or I have too many knock it off. You need to make time for you, because when times get hard, it's little things that get people through. Now, something a lot of preppers don't spend a lot of time on that is actually critical in survival situations is morale building. And one of those things is, for example, when you pack a bug out bag, and I'm just giving you a small example here, you'll put something sentimental in that bug out bag. So, for example, let me just pull something off the desk. Anything. Here.
Wooden fist.
This is weird. No, this is weird. The wooden fist would count. Here's Blade, okay? Little horror guy, right? Little small horror film guy, whatever. It's cool. But in a situation...
Get your April picture.
I could do that. Anyway, point is, you want something that reminds me of home, of better times. And for me, sitting down and watching these movies on Halloween was always fun, right? It's a good experience. It's a good memory. So having him with me, shut up. In a bad time is morale building. I hate you guys. But this is also important. Your hobbies, your what you're not doing when you're at work, anything you're doing to better your life is morale building as well. So having a hobby, having a passion, having something you do outside of work, home, and whatever, going to the gym, right? If the gym is your passion, by all means, that's great. But that is what I mean by enjoy the ride. Yes, the world around us is going to shit, but you've got to hold on to the things you enjoy. For me, obviously, it's like living like a fucking 12-year-old.
Hey, Rhino.
But that it is what it is. It's a fact. You can't let that go. Otherwise, you'll break when things get worse. Go ahead, Mando.
Yeah, that can pretty much just be summed up by something that pretty much any soldier who's ever deployed can tell you. They'll
Mhm.
have different terminology than what I'm about to use because it's all how we process it. You just gotta have a way to give yourself some mental escapism.
Mm-hmm.
Pop calls it dark humor.
Yeah.
Some people call it gallows humor. Me personally, I just, like I said, I call it my escape, my mental resets, whatever term you want to use for it. You got to have some way where you're just like, okay, yes, things are bad. What isn't as bad that I can escape to, at least for a few seconds in my own head,
Mm-hmm.
and move on to dealing with the problem afterwards.
Yep. I want to actually address this directly. This is Riggs in the chat. Okay, that's my problem. I work my ass off and allocate very little time for motorcycle riding or going to a restaurant an hour away. I've always been made to feel guilty for taking time for me. For one, I want you to understand that I've got no nice way to put it, and I'm not very good at like big fancy ways of sugarcoating. You were lied to, and those people are fucking cunts. Okay, you're the master in chief of your life. You should make time for you before anyone else, before your job, before your family, before anyone. You are number one. And the reason I say that is if you don't take care of number one, you are no good to anyone. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Now, my solution to this, like I said, I just took up on a job that's quite a bit more involved than what I was doing before, time-wise. Very much so restrictive of my time now. But my solution, I got a backpack that carries a water bottle, battery charger, some fucking tools, and you can strap the board to it. And I make a point to bring it with me to work every day. Now, on cold days when it's fucking snowing, obviously I'm not. But if I can make time even during a lunch break to maybe practice a trick or, just fuck around in a parking lot somewhere, I'm going to do it. After work, if it's nice, I'll go and try to ride it, even if it's only for like 15, 30 minutes, right? Make time where you can find time for the things that you want to do. But most importantly, make sure you make yourself a priority. And more importantly, a top priority. Don't put yourself second, third, fourth, fifth, top. Okay? Because if you're not fucking happy, if you're not doing good, if you're not mentally stable, if you're not enjoying your life, if your shit is not together, when the chips are down and everything's fucked up, you're no good to anyone. And this is actually something my buddy, his dad taught him. He passed it on to me. His dad was Special Forces. He actually coined that term that if you're no good to number one, you're no good to anyone. That's exactly what he said. Because you can't carry your friends, your battle buddies through hard times if you don't have your shit together. That goes with your family, your friends, your community, your loved ones in general. If you don't have your shit together and you haven't made yourself a priority, you're no good in times of conflict. So that is very important. I highly encourage you guys to, maybe this is your resolution, make time for yourselves. Focus on you, get your shit together, and start putting some of that other shit that you think is important. Let me just put it to you this way. This is where I'll leave it. If you're always planning for tomorrow, you're never living today. And tomorrow may never happen. So stop it. Okay? It's okay to plan for retirement. It's okay to plan for a house you want to buy. But if you are focused so much on tomorrow without making any time for you today, chances are you'll never get to enjoy tomorrow anyway. So enjoy it while you have it. That is the most important lesson I can give you. All right. Panel, actually, I'm going to give it back to you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I have to be mentally stable?
Always the sarcasm.
Then Nate's already out. He's already out then. But I would like to add on to what you said there, Rhino, that
Sure.
there is a good point to that. Now, I know I've been extremely quiet, so I'm going to actually contribute. When you're just focused on doing things that you keep saying, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. Oh, I'll do that tomorrow. As Rhino said, you're never going to get to tomorrow. What I used to do as a kid was I would practically watch every second count away on New Year's Eve. Because I almost thought of, because my imagination was so fucking overactive, and it still kind of is, but I've got a greater control of it now, that I almost viewed every year as like a friend about to be lost. So whenever I got to that time on New Year's Eve, rest of the family's probably in the living room. They got the news turned on. They're watching the ball drop, and everybody's got the cider and everything already poured out in the glasses. We're getting ready to cheer. I'm the guy that's sitting in the corner staring at my watch or staring at my computer screen, watching every single second tick away. And I almost for about, I would say about 15 minutes after we would move to the next year, I would feel a subtle sense of depression as if a friend just died. The reason why that happened, I didn't figure this out until I got a little older, was that I viewed that year as like a year of accomplishment. I said I was going to do things, but by watching that day go away and basically close out that whole year, I viewed it almost as if I had lost something. I don't know what, but I lost something, and it genuinely hit me in my head. And I had that feeling of, I have fucked up. Now I'm another year older, and I am not one step closer to accomplishing all that I wanted to by the time I would be 26. So that's how much I thought of those last few moments of that year. And eventually, as I got older, I realized just how fucking stupid that was. Because, okay, it's time. It goes, it comes and goes. It's just time. It's not like somebody died, and it's not like you actually failed, because it didn't take until my dad had to practically yell it into my ear one day that you don't truly fail anything until you say I quit. Because as long as you don't give up, you haven't failed. It's just a success in progress. Because every time that you don't reach your desired goal, you didn't fail. You just found another way to not do it right. So don't think of it as I just lost a year. Certainly don't be like me and almost personify it as if it's like a friend about to die and let it emotionally strike you for whatever damn reason because your imagination is like on drugs or something. But just, no, I'm serious. I would actually feel genuine depression. I don't even know how to describe it other than that. I just felt like I have failed horrifically, almost like a mixture of embarrassment and sadness at the same time. It was bad, but until I got a greater control of my emotions and my overpowered imagination, I didn't really get past that, but now I have. Because I realize, okay, yeah, it's time. It's relative to the point where, okay, you need it to organize how things are conducted in your life and, with appointments and stuff like that. Adulting. It's relevant to adulting, but when it comes down to you, personal time, and your personal life, aside from society, and your interaction with it, which is technically and unfortunately necessary to live, you really don't need to pay attention to it. Other than just getting at least a sufficient amount of sleep so you can survive. But as Nate would say, just these are the minor details. It's just time. At the end of the day, your time and the things that you like to do within it, whether it's a hobby, whether it's just sitting back and relaxing. A lot of people just talk about your hobbies or working out or just doing something. We've lost sight of the value of just sitting down somewhere. Say, just sit out on the porch, on the deck, get a drink, sit back, relax, close your eyes, and just do nothing. Because you can accomplish a lot mentally by just sitting back and doing nothing. Because when you're doing that, it's like sleeping. You're telling all of the external or internal processes to stop. Let's reassess. Let's regroup. Let's gather our thoughts and just mellow out so we don't go off the rails.
Right.
Because sometimes when you speed things up too much, because you think of your brain as like a train, it's on the tracks. You go on the tracks at full speed for too long, you get what we call burnout. And when you do that, you're prone to fucking up. Does anybody notice that when you fuck up one thing, all of a sudden it seems like you're fucking up one after
cascading
another?
effect.
Cascading effect. That's because you're letting that one failure throw you off your game.
Yeah.
And now you are losing focus. Don't let that happen. Sometimes you have to just mellow out, shut everything down mentally, and just chill.
Yep. On that note,
Hey, Jackal.
I agree with that 100%. We got to wrap through the rest of this really quickly. I just want to point out some of the bullshit. Nothing serious. There were a couple videos sent in from successful endeavors. We'll go over those really quick. They're little shorts, but let me pop these up really quick. We got to push through it. MGTOW, what'd you want to say there, sir? Really quickly.
Oh, I was just going to point out, and this is something that JMO and Sean have probably heard as well. The unit I deployed with, they used to say, or soldiers when they were getting back from mission, get your headspace and timing corrected. That kind of ties into what you're talking about there.
Yeah, because there's in the Army that on return deployment there is, or at least when I was in, it was called a 90-day cooldown, where your entire job is to learn how to reintegrate back to garrison side, back to being at home country, because you're in a state of hypervigilance, which ironically it never does leave you, but when you're out there for so long, like a year at a time, you come back, you end up doing some stupid stuff if you don't decompress. I'll say properly, but that term can be interpreted in many different ways. Because we had more people die within those 90 days than died on deployment because they're doing stupid stuff or things happened.
Right.
Hey, Sean, what I'm also getting at, and like I said, this is what my squad leaders and platoon sergeants in the unit I was in used to say. Right after a rough convoy or a rough day dealing with TCNs or whatever we were having to do, the squad leader would pull somebody off to the side and go, walk away, get your headspace and timing in check, and then come back over here and get back to it.
Yeah. All right.
I didn't get that very often, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump in these last couple really quick so we can wrap it up because we are over on time as usual. And I'm not trying to do 5-hour streams anymore. That's my New Year's resolution. No more 5-hour streams. So there you go. All right. This one. Maine now decides to disqualify Trump from presidential primary ballot. Okay. Now, my understanding is it is just one idiot, Shinabellas. Okay. That's it. That's what I understand. That's all you need to know. So Maine's in on this stupid party. What else? Oh, yes. This is interesting. This may be conspiracy theory, cannon fodder, but let's check it out. Let's see what this is about. Here.
Find a legal hook to push our issues hard.
Who are some of the biggest donors you have, and is there a restriction on how much money they can give you?
We don't have any restriction, but I would say our biggest donors are, for example, the Open Society Institute is a very big donor.
And whose organization is that?
Well, it's a foundation, but it's well known to be.
If you're wondering what this is about, let me minimize this. Let's look at this really quick. The founder of the group behind the lawsuit removing President Trump from the Colorado ballot reveals their largest donor is George Soros.
Shocker.
You go.
George Soros is the one who funds it. The Wallace Global Fund gives us money. The ARCA Foundation gives us money. Those are some of the big foundations where Carnegie Corporation gives us money.
You do see a thread through the different sides in this where a big donor like George Soros will give to an awful lot of progressive organizations. Does he ever ask for anything directly?
No, and I have met him, and he's never asked for anything at all. And I meet with the program officer from the Open Society Institute, and they're very happy with what we do, and they're very keen on transparency. We're part of their democracy.
Right. So there you go. More fuckery afoot. Also, let's get through this. These are just the top stories that have been coming out in the last few days. This one as well. It just gets more interesting every day. Pizzagate journalist responsible for exposing global, we've already said it on the show, so I guess whatever, pedophile network found dead. All right. Here you go. Pizzagate investigator and filmmaker Janet Osbard, who exposed the elite pedophile networks to millions, has been found dead just months after claiming she would never commit suicide. Go figure. The Dutch journalist and former police detective Cynthia Coder worked tirelessly to expose the satanic elite who they claimed were manipulating governments and corporations worldwide. A leading figure in the Great Awakening movement, Janet Osbard was best known as the creator of The Fall of the Cabal. Her unexpected death, which has been reported as suicide, has left a void in the alternative media landscape where she was known for her relentless pursuit of hidden hands controlling the global agenda. So there you go. That's reported December 29th, 2023. So that is today. It just keeps getting stranger and stranger. Every time somebody tries to reveal all of the actors and or politicians involved in fuckery afoot, people end up dead in their prison cells, or people that would never commit suicide end up committing suicide. It's just very odd. Very odd. So something to pay attention to there. What else do we have?
I have something to add to that one.
Yes,
it's the timing of the release of the article, because if you want to bury news, you release it, Friday afternoon, and then before a 3-day weekend like New Year's.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of people who would love to spread that news around on their social media and really digest it. And the timing of the release of that article, it might just be that's when she died, but it still seems very convenient for burying it.
Yeah. Typical bullshit that they would do. But you're right. And let's see. This one here. This is because it's been buried, pulled, removed, and fucked with relentlessly. But I want you guys to see this as well. Let's see if we can get to the meat and potatoes of this. This was shared with us briefly before the stream started, so I didn't have a chance to completely review it. But let's give it a go, shall we? This is, if it'll load, there we go, a full list of states wanting to kick Trump off ballot where cases stand, right? Let's see if we can get to the meat and potatoes of it without having to read the article all the way through. There we go. Colorado, Arizona, California, Maine, Michigan, Minnesota, Rhode Island, and other states where Trump faces ballot challenges are Alaska, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, South Carolina, Texas, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming, Vermont, and Virginia. Okay. So there you go. There is the brief version. That is from Newsweek.com. I should have been citing those sources the whole night. I did not. I fucked up. Now, I got a couple little clips from Successful Endeavors, so we'll play these. He wanted to share them with us, so we'll go ahead and play these really quick. And then we'll wrap up with final thoughts. I know it was kind of an all over the place episode, but I hope you get the final point. Like, yes, there's some current news I wanted to talk about because shit's fucky out there as usual, but I also want you to maintain hope and at least do something. Even if, like Jackal said, that is absolutely fucking nothing. If you commit to doing not a goddamn fucking thing, do it with a smile. Unless that includes nothing, and then don't smile because that's doing something. But you get my point. Just fucking try to enjoy this life the best you can. Because if you don't, you'll go crazy. Like, that's one of the benefits of doing what I'm doing now. I don't have time to stare at these articles 24/7 because it burns you out. Doing these shows and keeping up with all this news to tell you is immensely detrimental to your mental health. I'm not kidding. Like, just 24/7 keeping track of bad news. That's what I was doing for like 2 years in a row. Just constantly, all day. I'd have it playing. I'd have playlists set up so I could keep track, so I could listen, so I could find out what's going on, so then we could do shows on it. And I got to the point, you could probably tell in the last few months, where I fucking didn't care. It's not that I didn't care about you, the audience. I didn't care. It was so fucking awful. I'm like, what's the fucking point? And I had to snap out of it. And fortunately, not being exposed to it so much has helped. But yeah, that time that you're scrolling on your phone, looking through the news, whatever, put the phone down. Find something else to do. And like I said, if that's Jackal's do absolutely fucking nothing and that makes you happy, do it. If that is a hobby, do it. Whatever it is. But shift gears. Make time for yourself. That's what I'm trying to keep as the meat and potatoes of this video tonight. Yeah, there's some bad news out there, but I still want you guys to get through it and do things you enjoy. Let's get these two shorts up really quick. This is again shared from Successful Endeavors. And this is, are you being distracted? Let's see. Are we? Let's refresh this.
Are we being distracted right now? This lady shows the difference between the USA and China right now.
So while America is focused on this,
I read to kids in drag.
And this.
It's day 200 of being a girl, and I think we can agree that it's been a...
I hate this. You guys already know. Look. Are we being distracted? It's already spinning me up. And I know some people on the panel, some of you guys watching are not going to agree with me, but this is how I feel. We used to lock people like this up in asylums, not celebrate them and put them on fucking beer cans. Just saying. This person, regardless of how you feel about my statement, needs mental health treatment, not fucking public praise. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Whirlwind.
China is focused on this. See the difference?
Are we being distracted right now? This lady shows the difference.
Touche. I mean, solid point.
Not really.
All right.
China's, I don't know.
We've got one more for you.
China's not a fucking threat. I don't know. People need to get off that shit.
The point they're making, it's not about the threat. It's that they're not doing this sexual degeneracy bullshit everywhere. They're focusing on strengthening their people in their country. If you watch their TikTok, if you use a VPN or whatever, and you do it under China's whatever, you'll see wholesome content. But if you do it in the United States, you see nothing but e-thoughts. That's the point they're trying to make here. Yeah. It's not about whether China is a fucking global superpower. It's the fact that China is not fucking destroying their country. Well, that's a matter of perspective. They are strengthening their country, and they are keeping their country very locked down on wholesome content, whereas the U.S. is hell-bent on shoving degeneracy and sex in your face every chance they get. And I don't care. I don't care what anybody has to say about this whole fucking, oh, it's no big deal. Humans have sex. Like, but does it need to be shoved in your face on every show, on every fucking movie, in every song you listen to, on every social media platform you're on? I think that's it should be reserved. I mean, you don't even have to be religious for this. It should be reserved between you and your partner in the privacy of your bedroom. Whether you're gay, straight, whatever the fuck you want to do, that doesn't matter. It should be private.
Nobody should care. It should be private and within your own home, not on a billboard or on a beer can.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Let's see what this other short is here. Press reload on it too. There we go.
Were they trying to tell us how they stay young using this red cream?
So this is one of Oprah's
this
favorites.
one's fucked up. I've heard this.
Miracle fountain of youth and her magic wrinkle cure. So I'm going to put a little on your hand.
I do that. Oprah did.
Yeah, Oprah did it.
If you've seen this,
here,
it's
we're going to rub it
fucking
right in.
weird.
How come it's red?
I'll show you in a sec, Steve. So this is made from growth hormones of human.
Look, the wrinkles has just disappeared.
See, I just talked right over that
I can't even
point.
ball my hand up.
What?
So it's made from human foreskin. I'm sorry. They are cells from baby foreskin. That makes it better.
Were they trying to tell us how they stay young using this
There
red
you go.
cream?
It just
There's just
said
some
it out
fucked
loud.
up shit going on in this
Just
fucking
said it
country.
out loud.
Well,
oh yeah, baby penises. We just cut the top off and use that.
Yeah.
Well, it's bad
Just said
enough
it out
that
loud.
they're already harvesting the blood of the young to do dialysis for the elites to stay healthier.
We do need to say allegedly on that one because technically there's no
stick with
official
allegedly.
proof.
Oh
of
no,
it.
there.
We can stick with the legend.
Okay, well, I'll stick with allegedly now, and then I'll go find proof.
You need
Okay.
the blood of the young for transfusions, not dialysis. But your point
Well,
stands.
the process that they are.
There you go. The
changing
fucking
their
communist
older-
agrees with you.
Yeah, their older blood for younger cells or younger
Okay.
red blood cells or plasma, so that it gives them health benefits. And they're allegedly they're hiring young athletic people, and their sole purpose is to just stay healthy so that they get harvested.
Fair enough. All right, before we go off in the weeds, Jimmy Bone style, we're going to wrap it up. Instead of just blankly asking for your final thoughts, what I want to do is ask each of you to speak directly to the audience what they can do to enjoy the decline, so to speak, to enjoy the ride in the shit show we are looking at right now. What can you do or say to give them advice to help them through these times and give them some hope, some happiness? That's what we'll do. So we'll start with Crusader. If you still there?
I think we're going to start with Crusader.
Maybe.
Yeah, sorry, I had my mic muted there. I was just sitting here thinking things through. But yeah, of course, you always got to put the blame on me right away, or as a credit. Exactly. Yes. Well, is it a decline or is it a bump in the road? Is it a mountain? Is it a molehill? Look at the perspective of things. If you concentrate and focus on being a better you every day in some way, shape, or form, do that. Give yourself an hour a day every day. Take care of yourself. Just like they say when you're in a plane. You put on your own oxygen mask before assisting others. If you don't take care of you, nobody else will. So do your thing, take care of you, keep living the dream. Yeah, nightmares are dreams too. But you know what? They all come to an end at some point in time. You always make it through it. Yeah. So no matter what gets you spun up, no matter what gets you riled up, no matter what just gets you flustered and gets you to the point where you just want to scream and hit a wall and just throw a fit, you know what? Do it. Get that out of your system, buck up, do what you got to do, move on, do everything a little bit better, because as I've told many other people that have gone through some very rough times the past couple of years, I can't even remember how many people this too shall pass, and it will. So that's it for me. I mean, do your thing. Not my place to tell you what that is.
Very good, sir.
Can I go last?
No, because no. You go now.
Okay. Why? That sounded like a Chinese. You go now.
You go now. You come. You speak. You leave.
Oh gosh. Okay. Losing train of thought, but I'm getting it back there. Getting back on.
You hurry up. You no waste time. You say
you
what you gotta say.
shut up, red hair man. You sit back in your chair and play your Switch.
You no waste time no more. You say what you want to say. You leave.
Fuck this guy. I hate this guy. Anyways, so just try to find a way to get yourself into that mindset of I'm like water. I just move along with what happens. You don't let it break you. You don't let it shake you up. But whatever happens, you adapt. You move with it. You avoid the bad things that might kill you. But aside from that, what you kind of do is you find that mental state of transparency, basically. Actually, that's not the correct word, but basically it's like you're intangible. Like you become a ghost. You don't let things touch you. You don't let it affect you. Whatever happens, okay, I see it. I'm going to stay away from that, because I don't want to get fucked up. But I'm not even going to react. I'm just going to move on with my life, because there's no point in wasting time or energy reacting to it or even giving it attention. Almost like a witch. You don't give her attention. She will crumble under the weight of her own stupidity. The only thing that keeps it alive is your attention, your energy it takes from you. So don't give it anything. Just let it pass. Nate said it. It could be a bump in the road. You never know. People have been saying that a certain year, such and such year, is the year that the world ends. They've been saying that for thousands of years. There's always been a group of nutcases, or one nutcase, that thinks that they have seen the future and that it was going to end. Whether it was in 2012 or 2050, no one fucking cares. The point is, we're still here. So, don't be like some dumbass that doesn't plan ahead because you're just going to accept, oh, well, the world's gonna end in 2030, so I'm not gonna invest in any stocks or try to learn how to plant food or anything. Don't do that, because guess what happens when all of this blows over, or the shit hits 11, but then things get resolved, and then we go back to that more calm time, because what are we at, like 80 something years since the last mass culling or event or something like that, a genetic bottlenecking event? It's been a long time. We're overdue for one. What happens if we come back down, things are chill, and you didn't prepare for anything, and now you have to start from zero? Just find something to do that is not only worth your while, it's going to help you keep your mental fortitude. You're not going to lose your mind. Don't pay too much attention to the chaos, because those who stare into the warp of chaos usually lose their shit. So don't do that. Don't look into the void for too long, unless you want to go insane. Try to find some solidarity in life itself. Because at the end of the day, you are responsible for you. That is your first priority. Not anything else. I'm done.
All right. Want to cover a couple super chats I actually overlooked here in the Rumble chat. Broken Pine 284 for $5. Rhino is a 304? Question mark.
He thought about fucking one of his friend's sisters.
Oh. Ow.
It's debatable. I might be a 304. Could be. In a past life, anyway. I may have been a 304 for sure. All right. Broken Pine, 284 for $1. Show us your butthole. No. I can do that on my my OnlyFans. Not here. So there you go. See if there's any other chats down there. No, thank God. God. All right, we got
YouTube.
Yeah, I know. I see it. We've got Sean St. George for $5, reinforcing if you tell the internet not to do something, we're gonna do it, and we'll fucking do it again. Goofy meme. There you go. All right. On that note, I think we're caught up on chats. Let me check MGTOW. There is a slim chance in hell that anybody's watching there because of the way MGTOW is going lately, but let's see. No, but D-Man is watching over there. So happy Friday to you too, sir. And thank you for tuning in on MGTOW.tv. Don't know what's going on there still. No idea, but it is not going well lately. Audience or just the platform in general. So hopefully that gets... Well, we have a problem, ladies and gentlemen. So on that note, I can't hear anything right now. I unplugged that by mistake, thinking it was charged. Can't hear you, but you can hear me. That's good. I'll get it charged and going. We're going to switch to final thoughts. For who now? Let's see. Let's go with Agent of Doubt. Again, I can't hear you for a second, so don't nuke the show. I trust you, or should I? But your final thoughts. Give me a few minutes. So
he
well worded. Give me like a speech.
I'll give you the speech. Okay, so this week I got riled up by some news, and I think Rhino did a great job of like pulling together all the political news that I think would be a good summary of the week, and I credit him for that. But one thing that I was following, because I love following people who we consider conspiracy theorists. It's like a hobby of mine. There were people who thought that maybe other world events were inside jobs, just like, there's people who think that our own 9/11 was an inside job, right? And so they thought that there was a false flag that happened in the Middle East, on October 7th. And so part of their theory was that there's an alternative to the Suez Canal, that it's called the Ben Gurion Canal Project, and they thought that it's going to go right through the place where everything's happening right now. And so what got me riled up was, after I learned that one day, the next day, Wikipedia took down the article for the Ben Gurion Canal Project. And I was like, who has the power to pressure Wikipedia to take down something that's just informative about a historical project? I was like, wow. And so I had to take a step back. I was like, I gotta I'm too worked up. I gotta take some time for myself. So I'll say that gratitude and focus and knowing what team I'm on is what got me through that moment. Just the gratitude to know that it's not happening here yet, and the whole what team I'm on. I'm glad that there's no boots on the ground that are American. That all that stuff is, people who have been fighting for thousands of years. They keep fighting, and we're not putting our own in there. And I'm hashtag team us, right? And then just the focus to know that if bad times are coming, both financially or with stuff breaking out on the other side of the world, that in good times, that's when people have some good gains, but in bad times, that's when fortunes are made. And so, stay focused. You know, housing market falls out, I'm snagging me a good one. You know, I know what I need to do to make my life better, and I've got my plans, and I know what I can focus on in my life and not around the world. You know, to make those things happen. So, you know, work on my credit score, pay off my bills, work hard. You know, stock up for bad times that might happen. You know, but make sure that I'm focused on me and the things that I can change. That's how I'm getting through it. Not keeping my head on, you know, like the wilder news bits that I've been able to come up with online. Does Rhino have his fucking headset on yet? Am I alone?
He's still being a cunt.
I'm
Don't worry,
guessing
you're not
no.
alone, Agent.
Is it another thunder turd?
You're good.
It's the last show of the year. You can't crap out at the end.
You're fucking good. Can any of you hear me? Is the question.
Yes.
Yeah,
we're
you're
good.
coming through loud and clear.
Who is that talking right now?
Listen, all I know is this headset is great charged, but if it says low battery, I've got like 3 minutes to figure out where to find this from now on. So that's what I get for not charging this for 2 weeks. Whoops. Bad times, live and learn. But yes, I did catch most of that. What I did is switch to the computer and muted myself so I could hear you while I fix this. So we're good. Let me see. Let's go with JMO. I'll regret this almost immediately, but let's give it a shot, shall we? JMO.
What?
Your thoughts, sir.
I think I'll have a scotch.
Okay.
What was that you said about immediately regretting this?
It's true. All right. That's okay. He might be exhausted from being on this show for so long. Let's go ahead and see if Ron Jeremy has any good advice for us, though. Ron Jeremy.
I'd build on a few of the items people have pointed out, but my suggestion would be pay just enough attention to what's going on around you to place yourself in a situation where you can step aside and avoid the backblast. Read the news
Clear
just
backblast.
enough. You don't want the backblast. It's a bad thing. I'm in a situation where my life will probably be changing drastically this next year because I work for a company that's going in the shitter. Anyway, I'm positioning myself to avoid the backblast from the implosion. That's my advice. Other than that, live it as you can, man. Don't take it all too seriously.
Fair enough.
I'm out.
All right, let's try this again, you son of a bitch. JMO. Last chance, sir. Final thoughts.
Don't focus on so much negative shit. There's always going to be something that's going to piss you off and rile you up. Yeah, I just live by a simple code. If I say fuck it, I just quit caring about it.
Not a bad way to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not afraid of a country full of people I can blindfold with dental floss. I'm not concerned with this next year. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to fucking doomsday prep. I'm not going to do any of that crap. Just live life to the best of your damn ability. If it's hanging out with your family and your kids, do it. If it's not, then, well, do you, boo-boo. But
yeah, boo-boo.
You can't go through life being so goddamn afraid of anything that gets thrown at you. You know, to quote Jackal, you have to adapt and you have to overcome. And some people it's just easier than others. Just try to be that person. The more and more you put blame on other people, is the more and more your life's just going to be shit because then you don't learn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn straight.
There you go.
So, you know, as I said, I think last stream, New Year's Eve, don't go out. Don't drink and drive, because the second you hit the road, it's either you're going to find the asshole or you're going to be the asshole on the road. And try not
Yeah.
to be either this year.
Solid life tip, man.
Thank you for
All
saying
right.
that, because so many people go out that way.
Yeah, that is true.
All
right, who did I miss? I got Mando and Sean left, correct?
Yep.
Believe so.
All right, we will go with. Let's see. Let's go with Mando. Your final thoughts, sir.
Well, if you notice what I have underneath my name there, Master of Lowered Expectations. Honestly, just in general, we've got to start lowering our expectations for how things are going to go, both on the positive and on the negative. We all want things to be what we were told when we were growing up. And as we go through life, we have to lower those expectations to what we're actually seeing around us. At the same time, those of us that are like, okay, maybe this is the year when the asteroid hits. Might just want to lower that expectation to, oh, hey, that asteroid's getting really close this year. Maybe next time it comes around. Just saying. We have to have enough awareness of what's going on to be able to respond to it, but don't hyperfixate on the stuff. You will go insane.
True. Very true. All right. And Sean, we'll do your final thoughts, sir.
I think I'll elaborate on the alcohol part. A rule that I have always had is if I do take any drink, no driving, none whatsoever. Little trick used to have when going out partying when I was, back in the army, slip a 20 in my sock because you forget about it the entire time. And if you spend your allotment and you're going, how the fuck am I getting back home? How am I getting back on post? Well, you ironically have just enough to get back. Other than that, try to build some mental resiliency. I know I've been looking into Stoicism quite a bit. So if you look into the works of Enceladus, Marcus Aurelius, and the other famous Stoics, you start to see a lot of patterns that revolve around red pill and MGTOW when it comes to the philosophical side of it. And I think we all can benefit from that.
Yeah, I would agree. All right. Well, thank you all for joining tonight.
After party or no after party?
Yeah, we'll do a brief after party. Let's see. We have room for one individual for the after party if you'd like to join us, unless anybody else drops off. So initially,
Hey, I'll go ahead and duck out so that way you guys can have an extra slot on the after party.
Okay.
You all have a good one.
You
Take
too.
it easy, Mando.
But yeah, we'll do a brief after party for anybody that wants to join in and talk to the panel once the show ends. Yeah, and stand by because usually we'll have a couple guys stay for maybe like 10, 15 minutes and then they duck out and then there'll be room. So don't feel rushed into it. If you don't get in the first time, just hang tight. Excuse me. Yeah. I think I'll leave it at this. I've been saying it from basically the start of the show. And I mean it. Like, you've got to make time for you. You've got to find happiness where you can. You know, the founding fathers were brilliant in the way they worded this as well. It was the pursuit of happiness, because that's kind of the point. You're never going to just achieve it. Okay, I'm happy now. It will always be a lifelong pursuit. So make time for that pursuit. Because you're never just going to, for me, like I collect things, right? I get this one thing, like, I'm happy now. It's done. nah, that's not how it works. Like, you got to do things that make you happy. Like, for me, it's not just the collecting. Like, it's doing things. Learning how to build armor and props. Learning how to skateboard. I mean, even what I'm doing now. Learning how to dispatch. Like, I always want to learn something new. I always want to pursue something I can't do and say, now I've done that. Now I can do it. And even better, now I can teach. Now I can hand it down to somebody. Like, if you were to email me and want to do a private tutorial on how to build armor, like prop armor, like screen accurate fucking badass shit, right? I can teach you. I did it. I started off, let me tell you a little personal story because I think it's important. I always thought it was cool. You know, the guys that went to Comic-Con dressed like stormtroopers. I just thought it was cool. I'd go to the Comic-Cons and, you know, I'd see them there and I'm like, God, that is so badass. I want to do that. And it's like, you talk to them, they're like, you got to know a guy that knows a guy to get you the armor, and you got to know that guy to get a guy to get the soft goods. And it's like, it's so exclusive. And I decided I wanted to learn how to do it. And so I found a guy that found a guy. I bought some armor, but then I made a group to help other people to get rid of the got to know a guy to know a guy. And I made a kit building group. It's on Facebook, so it's not like the end of the world, be all, end all of groups. But it started off, I thought maybe I'd get like maybe a couple hundred people to join, or maybe 1,000, something like that. It reached over 10,000 people. And it was just like, I had a passion for building armor. I wanted to do it. I thought it'd be really cool. I learned how to do it. First one I ever built became like, it's not a brag or a boast, but I put so much effort into it. It became like the go-to resource for how to build that particular armor, right? And then the group I built became a resource for buyers and sellers to share their stuff and to be able to communicate freely. Because again, like Star Wars stuff is licensed and you have to do it a certain way. Within the way I built the group, it flew like not under the radar, but it flew within reason that Disney and Lucasfilm were okay with it. And I was able to build a whole community on that. And that was just on something I wanted to do. And I brought other people joy. And then I built the armor for customers, right? At first, it's very lucrative. If you ever get into that, as a hobby, I made 20 grand 1 year just building armor. And that was like 20 kits. Or maybe not even 20, maybe less than that. Maybe it was 20. I don't know. But anyway, very lucrative. And it was something I enjoyed. It was a passion. And then it turned into an opportunity to pursue income with it, right? And I was able to help people that didn't know how to build for them. So it was just a good feeling. And it started off with something I enjoyed. And then I turned that into something that helped other people. And to this day, like, the numbers are still going up. The group's still going. 7 years later, and it's still going. And that was my pet project. And, you know, it kind of runs itself now. We got like 20 guys that run it. I occasionally check in on it, make sure it's going well. And I'm really proud of that, you know, because now anybody that wants to do this, they just go to that group and they can figure out how to do it. But that's what I mean. Like, find things that you enjoy, but don't just stop there. That's another thing. Like, if you can teach it, if you can pass it on, whether it's to friends or, you know, strangers, like, for example, I don't know how to skateboard for shit. So if I find like this fucking dude out of here that loves doing it and I meet him in a park and he can teach me how to do shit, that's awesome. It's his passion. I can learn from him, and then maybe I can share something he wants to learn. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. Like, not just your own happiness, but pass it along. Pass it to the next guy that wants to learn or grow or figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? Because that brings, you know what? Tell you what, show you this. This was the last kit that I built. I kind of retired from doing it. I had some political disagreements with the people that were involved in a lot of this stuff. A lot of them were insane liberals. So I decided to tap out. I couldn't do it anymore. But the last kit that I built was for an older gentleman that always wanted to get into it. Had no idea how to build, and I built him one. Really badass TIE pilot, right? And he sent me this, and it's a challenge coin. It's actually translucent. You can't see it because of the way the camera is. But he sent me that custom coin with his personal, like, it's not information, but his like personal sign on there or whatever. And I keep that on the shelf. And that's just, it's really cool. I made his day. I got him into a hobby he now loves and enjoys. And I got this from him as a gift. I didn't even know it was coming. He just said, you got something coming in the mail. And he sent that to me as a way to thank you for it. So that's the bottom line is, take your hobbies, your passions, the things that you enjoy, and find a way to share them with others in a meaningful way that gives them something that they can be happy and proud of as well. That's the best thing you can do. Guaranteed. And on that, I think we'll close it out. I forgot to put the in video up, so there's going to be a slight delay. I'm going to put everybody else backstage for now. We will have an after party for sure. But yeah, I forgot to put up the in bumper, so I've got to do that now. So you'll have a moment of silence while I fix that. But I want to thank you all for watching. Again, it means a lot that you guys come here every Friday night and support the show and support the community. And a lot of you, I've noticed, have made your own channels and have started doing your own thing too. And it's really cool to see that. Again, kind of that same idea. You're able to pass it on and build a community that way. And I really appreciate that. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, we will see you next Friday. It's been a pleasure and an honor as always. Thank you so much. And we will see you next week.
We are the arbiters of this society.
Repeat after me. As a good citizen, we must maintain a neutral carbon footprint. Repeat. Repeat after me. We must eat the bugs. Repeat. Repeat after me. We must eat the bugs. Repeat.
This is a world that we create and manage. The people, they need to be controlled. We will give them truths, but only our truths. They are not to seek information anywhere else.
It is my job to keep order. So what you saw didn't happen. Erase everything.
You a grunt? I used to be one, and I was good at it.
I know. Things were simpler then. I have some questions.
You need to understand, we're being hunted.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me f***ed up. I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.